There you go. It says we're live. Welcome to the
Hey.
Bob and Tam show tonight. It's an unscheduled live. We've been talking about it all day.
Unprepared.
Yep. So we just wanted
Talking about it all day.
well, she was asking me, are you going to do a live today? What are you going to do?
You never told me, so.
Somebody didn't get moving until like 1 o'clock this afternoon. So, can't get much done at 1 o'clock in the freaking
day
afternoon.
rest, right? You're not supposed to do anything on Sundays.
So what did we do today? We ran over to the garage, took all my third garage, which is the bar at the other end, which we could do it in there, but it's still kind of a mess. It's had a lot of stuff in there from the garage, things that I bought from Harbor Freight, some tools. There's actually an air conditioner for an RV that's in there. I still got a tool cart in there, a floor jack still in there. Took a bunch of stuff over to the other garage and put it over in the corner where the bathroom's going to be, because we're not going to be working on that tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, we're going to start making the room. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have a video on that to show you what we've done and where we've accomplished at. My neighbor across the street, Ray, that's got the new 2022 Street Glide. He wants to find a place to put his boat. So I said, I could use some drywall help or some electrical help. I'm not sure if my brother's going to come out. I doubt it now. I heard he's got to go the other direction for Christmas. So I don't think he'll turn around and drive back out here. So we just kind of wanted to just cover my bases. So the idea is hopefully we got I just ordered yesterday, last night, I ordered the RV pedestal. Talked about you before, I was going to put it on a concrete slab because that's the only one they showed. But when I got ready to order last night, they said, here's one, you can put it in the dirt. So I'm like, let's get that one. And then I can always put a concrete around it if it needs to be. So got that ordered. It's supposed to be here before the first of December. So that'll be good. Should be here in the next few days.
Nothing comes when it says it's supposed to. Our vanity, we wanted a new vanity. I wanted a new vanity in our bathroom. Ordered it. I said, when's it coming? And they said it wouldn't be here till after December 1st. I said, cool, because we'll be back home by then. So what do? We get to California, and Friday it says it's going to be there tomorrow morning.
I don't think it was Good Friday or that Friday. I think it was.
Was it Wednesday?
What day did we leave?
Saturday.
I guess it was Friday. No, we didn't leave on Saturday, did we?
We came home here.
Oh, I know, but what day did we get there?
Tuesday.
All right, so it must have been Wednesday that you delivered it. The next day.
Yep.
So can't go by what Home Depot says.
Hey, there's Ryder X.
Yep, there you go. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And glad to see you come back to the channel. Don't know where you've been watching, but I was going to go looking for him.
He's been busy.
And see where the heck he's been. And so we're working on that. We got something special. If you guys been checking out Facebook, I already posted it. We got a kegerator today.
I found it was regularly like $400, and it was on sale for $150.
Now it's $500. What it was is we were at Sam's, and I was returning some stuff. I got some lights to put outside, and after I opened them up today to put them outside, dusted on, they would have melted out here.
Plastic.
So I took those back. While I was there, she rolls up with this kegerator, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing with that? She goes, I want to see if you want it.
Well, it was sitting in the middle of an aisle. But what happened was, I didn't know if it was somebody else's or not. And I'm like looking around, and I thought, I took it over to him. I said, do you want this? Because I thought, well, if somebody else sees it, they're going to grab it. So I thought, well, I'll take it. If he wants it, we'll take it. If he doesn't, I'll put it back.
So then we went to management and wanted to find out what the deal was with it. Was it a return, what it was, went to a manager, and they're like, we have no idea. So after I started looking at it, I think it was a display model that they had, and they shoved it in the back, and they forgot about it. And they said there was a whole bunch of stuff. There was a couple TVs there that they were giving a good deal on. I got enough freaking TVs now. I don't need any more. Got one sitting here on the floor we're going to take to the shop. That's like a 50-inch or something. I don't know what it is. But so
what, 75?
So when I checked on it, I'm like, I guess we said, what's the warranty on it? How soon can we bring it back to the store if we don't want it? And they said 90 days. So after I looked at it and seen it was almost $500 on Amazon, I'm like, you can't go too wrong with the darn thing.
Well, I said two things. We could either give it to the kids for a Christmas present, or we could sell it on eBay and make a couple $100.
Yeah. So we figured we'll take it and we'll check it all out. And once we get electric in the garage, get it all plugged up, make sure it works. And maybe when we'll invite whoever wants to come out, we'll have a party and we'll have a
grand opening party of the shop.
Yeah. So we'll see who wants to come over. We'll have some cold beer and see how that goes. So we bought it. It's still in the back of the family truck. So I haven't took it over there because we already made 2 trips over there today. So we got to make I don't know if we're going to make it before it gets dark. It's already starting to get dark here. So we got that today. And so we're kind of looking around. Everything's kind of falling into place. So we'll see how it all goes. So I moved everything from one side of the shop to the other side. So we got plenty of room to work tomorrow. Jim's going to help me, which is our daughter's, actually our son-in-law, his dad. He lives out here. He moved out here after we did from Georgia. For all you Georgia folks, he moved out here. And
we bought this house in April and they bought in August.
So he's kind of handy. He was kind of a handy type guy too, done a lot of remodeling and stuff. And I'm not a real, I could probably do it, but I'm not, I've never built anything. I put some stuff together, but I'm not, that's
build
not
a house or
that's
whatever.
not my
forte.
Yeah, I can do some electrical work. I can do auto mechanic work and all that kind of stuff like that. But I'm just not, which I did. We put all the framing up, and how hard is it to build some freaking framing? You measure it up and you put it up. So
well, it's not going to be a shop where he's going to work on people's bikes that come out that want to have stuff put on, or his own bike, do stuff like that. It's not going to be, he's not going to be an official motorcycle shop or whatever like that.
We're not going to be open for business. We are going to give you guys some opportunities. We don't know when it's going to start because the garage probably won't get all done until we're about ready to go to Daytona. So when we come back this summer, after Myrtle Beach is over, we're going to come back and we'll give some options for you guys to come out here and get free stuff on your bike. So what we'll have is a bunch of different things that what we'll do is we'll probably post and say, hey, here's some things we can get. It's pretty much 2014 or newer Harley Davidsons. And you'll be able to come out here, and we have people like Ciro and Custom Dynamics and Dakota Gauges and just a whole bunch of people that have been wanting us to do stuff with them. The idea is to do videos, put them on here, show you what it is, things like that. Well, I don't want to be like all these other guys that are out here. Every other video they're putting out, they're trying to sell you everything from the kitchen sink to a flashlight to whatever they're selling. So we don't want to be that guy or girl. We want to be able to be somebody that, here's what we want to do. There's a few things I want to get for my bike yet. I might get some lights between my saddlebags, but I don't want lights in my saddlebags or on my saddlebags because we take them off every time we put it in the back of the toy hauler. Don't have to, but it's just one more thing that could be scratched if the golf cart bounced over, or if the motorcycle moved over. Just be one less thing that could get damaged on the bike. So we always do that, and I don't want to have extra things I got to unplug and all that. So the idea is what this is going to be is we'll give you an opportunity to say, hey, here's 10 items that we're going to be spotlighting in the next month that we may have. And whoever comes up and says, hey, I can make it out to Arizona, we'll come out that way. If you got an RV, we'll have the hookup there for you to stay a few days while we're doing it. We don't have, there's hotels out here and stuff. We're right next to Laughlin, Nevada. So what are you doing there?
I'm trying to put the banner up for Fairing Exchange. Oh, there it is. I guess this was his number 2. So that's Paul's number for Fairing Exchange. Slim Jim said he was going to call him, see if he was bringing handlebars and if he was going to be out his way.
Yeah. So if you call him, he'll bring the handlebars.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. That's the problem that people have is you can't call him once they've left.
Yeah.
And they haven't left yet because he said he's running a little later.
If you're on our Facebook page, I put his first route. I think they're leaving.
Well, he said the days were going to change. He originally said he was going to leave the first week of December, but then when he said the other day, it might be the second or third week before they get out.
Well, I don't know. I thought he said he was leaving next week, which would be tomorrow.
Okay. So just call.
But he's going straight up the East Coast, it looks like.
But you can call tonight even. It's getting late there. He's in Florida. You can call bright and early tomorrow morning. Give him a call, or you can go on his website. You can actually set appointments up there. But I mean, he's running up the first map I looked at the other day. It's running right up the coast. So anybody that's along, even
Rex says he blamed you. He bought the Dakota digital gauges.
No, I told you to wait. Told you to wait.
Hey, how you doing there, that ex-biker?
So, but see, even like that, see, you could have saved a couple $100 by, well, I don't know what they charged you. Where you had your,
man, they're all popping up tonight.
Where Rider X had his installed at, already paid, but during this time, Fairing Exchange would have put your gauges in for free.
Yeah, and he's going right up your way, Rider X.
So then right in your neighborhood.
Anyway.
So if, hey, you want to get that inner fairing and get it.
Well, he's already got a CBO.
Oh, that's right.
But the original reason, once we moved here and he bought stuff for the boys and all the stuff, and our garage is just crammed full of crap, I said, we ought to buy a lot and you can build your building and we can put all the crap in there. So we've been thinking about this for a long time. So that's been a future plan for many years, probably the last, 5 years?
Well, in the 80s, I had a garage. I had about a 20 by 40 garage.
Bigger than our house.
It was a pole building. It was back in Illinois. And I had that built. And at that time, we lived in a single wide trailer. So we were trailer trash. And raised the kids there. And I had a lot that I owned. And so we built that on there. And so I kind of had a shop back then a little bit. And for a while, when I was in between jobs, I actually worked on cars and did all kinds of work for people. Don't know what we're going to do with this garage. First of all, that's what we're going to do on this side that we're going to make. It's going to be about a 14, 15 foot wide by, what'd you figure, 20, 24 feet deep.
Yeah.
And it's going to be set up. We're going to get a lift. We're going to put in there. We're going to have a set up to where we can do videos from there. Instead of sitting in front of our TV here, which we bought a round light today to see how that works. I don't know if I like it or not.
No, that's not too
But
bad. Regular $50, we got it for 20.
Yeah, it seems.
It was a post Black Friday special.
They couldn't pawn them off. Well, the bad thing is you got to have a power supply to plug it into. It doesn't come with a plug. It's USB. Cheap stuff.
Oh,
And so we'll see how it works. If we don't like it, we'll take it back. But we'll see how it works tonight and see what it is. But once we get the shop all done there's going to be a storage area, or there's going to be a studio, which we're going to have the lights already mounted up. I got a bunch of shadow boxes and stuff like that we're going to mount from the ceiling, and they'll be coming down to where, depending on where we're at, we'll be able to turn those lights on. Plus, we'll be able to make it a little bit more controlled system. We're going to be doing a lot of things where we'll look better in the videos. With different lighting and things like that can make things better. And so it's good.
So we're going to get a motorcycle lift, and the car lift, the guy next door has got one, said you can use it anytime you want. So we probably won't get a car lift. We'll just use the neighbors.
The bad thing with a car lift is most of these are less than 7,000 pounds. That's about the most they can lift. Well, two of my vehicles I have, the big truck and the Expedition, will not lift. The Expedition is almost 12,000 pounds, and the truck, I have no idea what it weighs.
We had to go to California to rent a trailer to bring it back here, to take it back to California to get worked on a couple years ago.
Yeah. So
George is on there. They're all coming out of the woodwork.
That's one of the reasons why I'm not getting a lift. I may eventually get something, but I mean, I don't know.
Arizona.
We probably would end up getting a drive-on lift. Ben Pearson, I think, is the one we used to have when we had a garage.
Well, even the neighbor down the street, he's got one too. His moves around, don't it?
Yeah, I don't want one like that. But I would be pulling in. What the nice thing about those is you can drive in, and if you had two cars, you could raise it up. And you can put another smaller car underneath it. So right now, the only thing that's in the garage is the RV. The boat is over at the in-laws, which is Jim's house. He let us set it over there because I just don't like it out here. We have a lot of trouble. It's not inside a fence. At least his house, it's got a fence, keeps it inside, so keeps it looking a little. We don't have to worry it quite about as much. And the wind doesn't get to it as bad because it's between houses and stuff. So once we get the garage, we'll move it over there. It looks like the neighbor across the street, we're going to move his boat over there because he's going to do some drywall working and stuff. He wanted to pay me. And I'm like, well, I could use some help. Well, I'm not a drywall guy. I can definitely.
Those girls, then when they saw we were buying that kegerator at Sam's, they said, hey, when you buy that, you got to invite us all over. He's like, well, I'll tell you what, we need some painting done and some this done. And the one girl said, I don't do drywall no more, but I'll come over and paint. And I'm like, all right, give me your numbers.
And so, yeah, so we get help.
So Roger X says, if you need help with Bluetooth lights, Wi-Fi, network installation, let me know. I did a little bit of tweaking on the website. Did you see what I did?
Yeah, it's not all right, but you got a bunch of things down there that had nothing in them. It's like you put 6 things up, you only put 2. There's 3 more that were blank. I was going to show you that. That there were like 3 more things you could put, which we're still got to work on that. We got on the website, we put up where our future rallies. We got a highlight video of what's like the #1 trending video that we have right now for this month. Which one is it? And you can click on that and see. We're working on getting some items in the storefront. We're going to have a storefront there and have some different things to sell you guys. So besides what we already have, I've not been very good about putting things down here underneath. For a long time, I haven't done anything since we pretty much switched to the Mac. What?
Did you monetize it?
Yeah. And
so. And then he yells at me.
And so we got a lot of things to do, but we got everything. Everything seems to be in place now. We've got we didn't change the name of the channel, but if you hashtag us at Bob and Tams, you will get this. You will get the website. You will get Twitter. You will get all the stuff that comes up. Plus, it'll come up if you do a Google search or whatever you do. It'll come up with everything. Even our Patreon page is there, so you can click on that if you want to join Patreon. Because if you really want to know what's going on with my motorcycle, I did a rough edit because we have a new editing system I'm trying out, DaVinci. And I don't know if I like it yet or not. I'm still playing with it. But I did a video in there on my bike. It's not it's not polished. I didn't even rewatch it, so it could even be screwed up. All I know, but I did it when I was with the kids, and I thought, I haven't put anything up for this month for Patreon. Let's go ahead and throw it up there so people in Patreon. Now it's not in Venmo, so right or right, you can't go to Venmo and watch it.
That's what Roadkill Ron say. He says, "How's the DaVinci Resolve going for you?" He must have mentioned it on the other live.
Yeah, it's not bad. I just got to get used to it. But I mean, I didn't have too much trouble. They do have more transitions than I'm used to in Premiere. What I'm kind of getting tired of Premiere is it's $30 every freaking month. And it's, I've tried to bring things into it and it doesn't seem, I'm having trouble with that. So I'm going to give this a try. Because this, you only pay, I think right now it's on sale, which I'll probably end up buying. I think it's only $250 right now. They got it on sale for the end of the year, and I'll probably buy it for like $4 something.
Rex says Premiere Pro is way better than DaVinci, or it's better than DaVinci.
And but when I talk to my son-in-law, well, he actually says the other way. He says to go with Avid. Well, I ain't think Avid's the same thing. You got to have that's what all the movie companies use. So he uses Avid now, and he also uses the DaVinci. They use DaVinci when he needs something really quick and done. But Premiere Pro is just you got so much other stuff. You got Photoshop and all that. I don't pay for all that. Originally, we got really lucky because our daughter worked at the school and we got that discount for $25. I got everything. And that was really nice. Now, since I'm nobody, they want to charge you for every freaking thing you have. And I used to know how to use.
Works at the school now.
I don't know if she's got a school ID number. Yeah. She's got a
school pass that she gets in and out.
Maybe. But then you got to start all this all over again. You lose what you had. And so it's not a big deal because I got everything saved, but you couldn't open that file back up. So I downloaded some more. So we'll see how it all goes. I haven't canceled anything. We're probably going to go ahead and I'll probably pay the $250 for the DaVinci to get a little more because it only gives you 1080 out of it. When you put the video out, it's not 4K. They want you to pay more money to get the 4K or the 8K out of it. So we'll see how that all goes. And right now we're only shooting 4K. We don't have anything yet that shoots 8K. I was looking for a phone. I was going to get the new 22 Ultra by Samsung, but it's not on sale. I ain't paying $1,000 for it. You can get it for like $989, but that ain't enough sale for me to pay cash for it. So we're gonna wait and may just use what we have. Most people don't have an 8K TV anyway. Most things can't even send an 8K out. So that's why a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm putting up." They put it on their thing, 4K video, 4K video. Most people don't have anything that will read, and then you got to have a service that's sending you 4K.
Roadkill Ron says he likes Resolve.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's cheaper. I always loved Final Cut. That's what we started with back in the 2000s. Is when I first started doing wedding videos. It was Final Cut. I actually taught myself. I went to the Film Institution in Hollywood for a week and got a crash course from them. By the time I got there,
during a earthquake.
And so I learned a lot there, and I was really good with it. And then so we got out. Well, bad thing I hated about, that's why I'm not real fond about Apple. I got a tower out here. I got a system that we bought probably in 2000. What was it, 2007 or something? 2008. It was the big blue one. I paid like 30 grand for an editing system with all the hard drives in it, with everything. I bought it from a company in California that sold it, and they gave you a training class and stuff on it. Great, loved it. Well, then when they started coming out with these, with the new video that we have today, you can't read it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So it's useless. Back then we
gigantic $4,000 paperweight.
Well, it costs more than $4,000. It's like $30,000.
How you doing?
So it sits back there. I still have it. It's got dual monitors. Back then we shot digital video. It was the tapes you put in. And I still have all the equipment. I got a big giant camera. Looks like the TV stations have. I have all that, but they're just useless. They're just, I might hang them in the shop or something for because
decoration.
They cost a lot of money and it really ain't worth nothing anymore. But I can still go out and shoot digital video with it. You can edit with it, but it's not as simple as this. Those you had to, it was just a pain. You had to do whatever, however long the tape was. If I filmed 3 hours, it took 3 hours to download it in the computer. Where this, you take the card out of the camera, you throw it in the computer, you slide it over, and in a few minutes, it's done. And you don't have to worry about anything. Just check to make sure your file is downloaded.
We did. Thanks, Rick. And we hope all of you had a nice Thanksgiving also with your family and friends, or still might be celebrating Thanksgiving. Some people do it a few days after so they can get to everybody's house instead of having to eat 10 times in one day. Hoping to have some highway bars and a new seat by the 2023 rally. There you go, big whoop.
So we got some new handlebars, but we haven't got them
Oh,
yet.
that's true.
And I don't know if I'm going to wait and get them. If I pedal around like I'm going to, I'm just going to call,
KTS.
no, call, this guy does shocks. Hold on.
Shane.
No.
Oh, All About Customs, Joey.
All About Customs. He sells the same handlebars that I have.
They're called the fat bars or something.
Yeah. And I bought some during the auction in Sturgis to help the kids with the little wooden bicycles. And I got them for like $200. And when I Googled it, it was like $500 handlebars. So I'm like, we're going to put 14 inches on it, but I'd rather go and see what he has. So I figured I would call him and tell him that I won this. I didn't win it. I bought it. And if he'd want to do a video and install them for us, we could do a video on putting on the handlebars and all that. And then we could.
He needs to sit on it to see which ones he likes. He doesn't like the ape hangers, but the mini apes, whatever they call them.
I think it's the 14 inches what I'm going to call it. Not really mini apes.
Because it always hurts his shoulder.
And so we first figured, one is I got the new cup holder that's from Zero, but we got it from Rick Rack, which we're going to do a video on it yet. We never did it. And so we got to do that before we get anything from Zero. And so it's on the front. And right now I can't really see my controls anymore on that side. Well, actually, when Rick Rack put it on, one of the salesmen put it on, it was hitting the gas tank. So when I got,
you can only turn so far.
So when I got back to the trailer, I had to adjust it and I got it up. It works fine now where it is, but I've got to kind of stick my thumb back behind it all to hit the cruise and the turn signal and all that junk that's on the left side. And but they do make one now for the back, for the backrest, which we might change hers out because it ends up being now the Zero one. Because we've seen a lot of guys when I talked to them back in like the Ozarks 2 years ago, a lot of people complain about them. Well, we haven't had I haven't had any trouble with the ones that I bought.
Happy birthday.
So I'm going to probably get one for her on the back. And a couple other things I want to get. I'm going to get for my phone, I want to get one that's got a charger built into it.
Everybody say happy birthday to Trixie Blue. It's her birthday.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Almost a turkey baby, huh?
I got a friend who was born on the 24th.
Yep, it was his birthday. And our brother-in-law, well, his birthday was both the 24th this year. So they both were
turkey babies.
Yep. So Big Whoop says a big toy run coming up next Saturday. About 1,200 bikes are coming. That's a big one. Where are you at, Big Whoop? Are you out in California? Rick says he got a new seat with the huge pad. Sewed it to the back of my seat. It's the only problem. I can't try it for 6 months now. Oh, because it's too cold. That's no good. Hey, there's Greg and Gwen. How you guys doing? So one of my BFFs there, Gwen. Hey, Bob and Tam, great to see you guys. You're trying to get caught up on all your videos. Life's been busy. Tell me about it.
And we've kind of slowed down on videos. One, we got the garage going on. We'll probably do some lives this week from the garage, showing you probably about the same time coming on this week. We'll probably show you a couple this week while we're there, and do maybe a 30-minute or so, 45-minute, just something not too long. Show you a little bit about what we've done. And if it's not too windy, we go outside.
Call the Moose and see if they're doing their toy run yet. When was that? Remember we went a couple years ago? We belong to the Moose Riders. Well, I guess we're not really part of that no more. We're part of the Moose, but not of the Moose Riders anymore. We haven't been to a meeting in forever. But anyway, we could go on the ride with them. So Benjamin says they have one in Saskatchewan too, Canada.
I always wanted to go to the one when we was in California. Wanted to go to the one down in Tijuana.
Birthday too. That's right.
And we never did that.
Oh, the one in Tijuana goes down to Santa Rita.
Yeah,
Santa Rosa.
One of them. I know where that bar is at.
Yeah.
I got a shirt from there somewhere.
I can't think of that, but it was SJS's birthday this week too. That's right. She did say that. I remember. Yeah. Pueblo, Colorado. There you go. 45th toy run. Wonder if Tony's going on that.
It'd be kind of cold over there in Colorado.
Yeah. I think Pueblo is more south, isn't it? South Colorado, I think.
Still be like northern Arizona, which we're getting snow up there.
Yeah.
So here wasn't too bad day. It might have been even close to the 80s today. It was pretty warm out there.
It was.
Probably high 70s. And
it was nice.
So yeah, it was pretty.
It's 67 right now, it says.
Yeah. So at about 5:30 our time here, Mountain Time. And so yeah, pretty exciting. Got a lot of things going on. Just wanted to come on. We have no unscheduled for lives right now. We don't know. And actually, we got a lot of our regulars that we haven't seen in a while are here on Sunday nights. So we might go back to our Sundays and screw football. Maybe you can watch it on the commercials.
There you go.
Maybe that'll
Well, there
be
was
better.
a few people I remember. They tell us the score every now and then, and
So maybe we'll stick with our Sundays of doing our lives, and
because Wednesday didn't seem like it was.
yeah, Wednesdays just
Going
never really
anywhere.
kicked up. Actually, the video we did Friday really did good. But I mean, a lot of you probably were off.
Yeah.
I think it's got. I looked at it a while ago. It's like
What is
1,800
on the
people
average? Wow, that's a lot of people.
watched it already, and I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of people. That's about the most live we've had in a long
Two
time.
Golden Sturgis to ride. Yep,
Yeah.
it's pretty chilly up there too. 2 hours south of Denver. Okay, I was thinking it was more south. Dixie. There's David Hamilton in the Pating Nation.
There you go.
Didn't say Pating.
No. Hey, sometimes forget about that. She's got so much stuff going on.
Me too.
And but yeah, the bike is. I probably will take it out a couple times this week and ride it and see how it's doing. But so far it's pretty good. I don't have. Wait till you. The rest of you, if you're not a Patreon or if you don't want to sign up for Patreon real quick and see that video, it'll be out probably sometime this week. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit of time here to work on it. I was going to do it today, but apparently we haven't got nothing done today. We took a bunch of stuff over to the garage from that was in these garages, put them over there in the corner. I had to move my golf cart to the other side. I had to put my handles on my toolbox, roll it to the other side, because now that one whole side has just got wood in it, and that's where we're going to start building everything tomorrow. Hopefully, with him, maybe by tomorrow we'll have all the framing up, which would be great. And I'm looking for a fuse box. I need a 200 amp, 40 space, square D inside
Fuse box.
Our Home Depot don't have one. So I'm going to do some internet looking. Don't need it today, but as soon as we get the framing done, that's the next thing to do is get all the wiring in. And I don't have to run the whole shop, but I'm going to have to run enough wires to where when we put the drywall up, it's all out of the way. So I'm going to run some wires up to the top of the second floor that we'll have, and they'll just be taped off and they won't be hooked up in the box, but they'll just be there and they'll be ready to go. And then we'll have lights that we got to put some lights in the shop. We got to put some outlets all around the outside and the inside, but in the outside. And so, yeah, I want to make sure I have plenty of electricity everywhere we want to go. And I got to put a 50 amp plug in there for the RV. And then we also got to put a 50 amp plug for my welder, arc welder we got. It's got one of them old cheap Lincoln ones. Hey, they work better than nothing. I'm not a big arc welder anyway. I got a MIG welder. I MIG weld more than I do anything else. Used to. I don't really weld anything anymore. I weld anything. I guess I welded the kid's thing here broke, his seat or something broke, and I welded it. It looked kind of sad because I didn't have it adjusted right. But hey, it is what it is. It held.
They don't ever come out and ride them anyway.
Yeah.
So
Probably gonna sell them anyway.
So he only rode it from the shop back to home.
About 30 miles, 35 miles. We rode it, and
but you think you liked the way it was riding?
Yeah. No, I didn't push it very hard because it was almost out of gas, and I didn't want to buy gas over there. It was a lot more expensive, so I wanted to get a little farther. And so I kind of kept it around 55, 60 most of the way. When I came back, I got up to about 70, 75 with it. And I think now I'm pretty set with it. We'll give you a little heads up. This guy that we found, he would have sold me a 120 stage 4 brand new motor installed for $6,900. I would have done that. If I would have known that, I would have never done anything to my bike motor wise. I wouldn't have spent the $3,500 to have the cams and the oil pump, because on this 120 it does have a better oil pump in it. So they're really, out of all the Harley engines, they really like that one. That's their number one thing that they sell more than anything else. They get the best performance out of it. They got a couple big dynos.
I even like it better than the S&S motor.
And so for this guy here, wait till we're going to get more videos from the shop here that's out here. When I told him about some of the videos that we've done and you guys kind of liked it, he says, hey, just let me know. You can come over here anytime you want and film stuff. Just let me know. Well, we need to know what you're doing first. Just come over but I mean, it's a great big shop. There's only 2 guys working there, but I mean, it's set up to be, it's probably got as many lifts as most dealerships have.
And this shop is spotless.
Yeah. It's quite, I've heard good things about this guy for 20 years. Never made it over to see him. Actually, Speeds Performance Plus, they know him. He recommended us to go over to look at the compensator that we had to see what was going on with that problem. And when you watch the video, when we do put it up, if you're not a Patreon person, you will see what the real problem was. And there were some other issues that were going on too that made it worse. And so now it's pretty much the 110 motor is not the best motor in the world. Just like they said, just drive it. It might last you 20,000 more miles. It might last you 40,000 more miles.
That's what they said. They said they've seen some that hasn't even lasted a couple months, right after they built them or right after they've gotten a bike. And he said he's seen some that's got
40,000, 50,000 miles on them.
and they're running fine.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And so that way, you know, if I decide I want to put a motor in it, if he's still there, he's an older gentleman.
Thanks for coming out.
Younger guy's the guy that worked on it. Charlie, no, don't get back in here.
Kill up.
And I'm trying to get underneath all the equipment.
Kill up. Good boy.
And so it seems to be really, really good now. Actually, I'm really glad I did something because this could have been a serious problem if we were on the road, because most trucks, I would say all the trucks, nobody could have fixed this on the road. We would have had to limp it back and put it in the trailer, and then that would have been wherever it would have broke down at. We would have been with the rest of the time without a motorcycle, unless we just traded it in and we get nothing for a bike that ain't running. So luckily we got it fixed and the problem solved, and they actually found a couple other things, because the first thing they thought it was one other thing, and when they went in there and looked at it, it actually had the wrong part in there. Nothing Speed's done, something Harley Davidson did when they built the motor. Somebody put the wrong part inside the engine. And so that was one of the problems. That's what was going to be the problem. But then after they started it up, they put it on the dynos. That's a big difference. A lot of people that don't have dynos, a lot of people that do have dynos don't do. This shop is probably one of the ones, probably the only one I ever really knew yet that I've ever seen that actually test rides bikes on a dyno. Because you know, if you got a noise, it's at 30 miles an hour. How you gonna listen to that? Put it on a dyno. Well, a lot of guys don't want to put it on their dyno because you're wearing out the dyno. It's putting more work on the dyno. You got to get the dyno guy to do it. So here, both these two guys that work at the shop here, the owner and the mechanic he's got, both know how to use a dyno. So they can do it. And so like I said, when I went in the second time, so what they called us and said, bike's all done one day. First part was fixed. So while we went to go get it, it's 35 miles away. We got to town, phone rings, and he's like, got a problem. And we're like, what? And
he says, I think the noise is louder than it was.
Yeah. He says, can you come by? I'm like, yeah, we're already in town. We're going to eat lunch and we'll come over and we'll listen to it. And so I went over there and listened to it, and definitely you could hear it. And they had it going to speed on whatever, I don't know what speed it was, but it was the loudest then. And oh yeah, you thought it was going to come out the side of the engine. And so.
And then they have an electronic stethoscope, kind of like you do, or something.
No, he had a regular stethoscope.
Oh.
And you could hear it, and it was really loud. And so we took it around, and you watch the video. If you're a Patreon person, you're getting to see this, or you may have already seen it. Mike Campbell, I think, I don't know if he's on or not. He already seen the video, and he's like, wow, I'm really glad you found out what that was. And it's like, yeah, because it could have been something very serious. So hopefully this week sometime I will finish the edit. If nothing else, all we got to do really is put an ending on it. Because I tell you, I'm going to take it I'm going to write it home and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Well, that's not on this video, because when we got home, it was too dark and I didn't want to shoot in the dark. So we decided, because we took it over to the shop. Plus it doesn't have the saddlebags on it, because this guy makes you take the saddlebags off. He won't allow you to leave your bike there. Well, it's more likely to they're going to take it off.
He doesn't want to be liable if they get damaged.
So we'd already hauled them home. And then when I went back to pick the bike up, I forgot about them. So I rode the bike without saddlebags, which isn't the end of the world. Anything special?
I know. He says, that's good. I was going to do cams myself in the push rods, but with this illness, now I can wait and see how far I'm going to get. I got Hudson Engine Builder past Rochester to tune my engine work. There you go.
And even this guy, like I said, they know speeds. Actually, the Mike, that's the dyno guy that
Mike
trains
Daniels.
people at Dynajet and all that. He actually has worked at this shop too. He actually helped them. Actually, the lift they got a dyno there for trikes. And so if you got a trike and you want to get it dynoed, this is a shop that's got one sitting there. He's got two. He's got a regular dyno and he's got a trike dyno. So you can bring it in there and they can check it all out for you. And pretty neat. If you're out this way, or if you want to come out here and check out what we got going on, not too far from here. And don't come out during the summer where it's 100 and freaking degrees. Well, up there in Kingman, it's a little cooler.
Yeah, it is.
We're 10 degrees cooler there.
If you get up early, well, we've done it before. We get up early in the morning, like at 6 o'clock, go over to Kingman, have breakfast or something, ride back, and it's like 11 o'clock. And when you get over the hill, it's just like it hits you like you open an oven, and that hits you. It's hot. But, you know, it's only like 95 when you get up, but it's 120 when you come back.
115 is about our average temperature here during the summer. That's kind of the peak. Not saying it's going to be that hot. This year it was hot like that all year long. Well, we weren't here. But most people here,
Star Wars where it was 105.
Yeah. So it was hot
And
there,
humidity.
Yeah. They've been getting a little higher humidity here. But I mean, today was a great day. It's a little windy. We have two weathers here. It's either hot or windy. Here we're in this valley, and I don't know why the wind blows here all the time.
Well, today wasn't too bad. We even saw one of the little things that go crazy
What
in
do
the
they do?
wind. They, whatever they are, the windsock things, whatever they are, and it was just like going. It wasn't moving. I said, "Wow, you don't ever see that
Did he tell you anything?
And no, he just said, "Keep on going." It was like a scarecrow. I think his arms was flapping, but the body part was just straight.
The wind's blowing through it. Got a blower. Holds it up.
Goes even not right now. The weather is too darn cold.
It'd be like going out there because it's already our water is, which is if you were in an area where it's 30 degrees, our water is about 55 degrees most of the year. And when you get down, because it comes out at the bottom of Lake Mead or Fort Mojave, it's Mojave Lake that we have here, not Lake Mead. It's all coming from Lake Mead, but our water is a lot higher here because that water there is a lot deeper, so it goes down a lot more. Ours isn't really down that low here, and then so they let the water out because we have a power plant here too. So sometimes during the day, you can go across the river and you can almost walk across the river. Actually, Don Laughlin, that owns the Laughlin Riverside Casino, he's got a picture years ago where he walked across the water.
Well, you can. It gets low sometimes, but
but that's when sometimes they tell you that's when they clean the river up and take the trash out. It's never completely empty, but the shoreline gets really short.
Cold.
But here, there's a real big jet ski area. They must rent. I mean, we must have 24 places here that rent jet skis within a 2-block area.
How many?
24.
Maybe more than that. There's a lot. And they all got brightly colored buildings because they'll tell you, come to the red building, come to the blue building, come to the orange
Fluorescent
building.
colors.
Yes, they're like bright, bright, bright. And one year, I guess they ran out of colors. One guy painted his all different colors. You ought to see it. They said cold water equals shrinkage.
That's right.
Your clothes will just shrink up to nothing. And Benjamin says
I think they're probably talking about something else.
-5. I know what they're talking about.
So here we never really get that cold. We might get down to like 35 at night, but that'll be for like 20 minutes and it goes right back up. It's kind of the same thing when we lived in Southern California. It was kind of the same way. You know, people would say, oh, it got 35 tonight. Well, yeah, for what, 10 minutes? Then it went right back up.
Although one year in Corona, we lost all of our palm trees. We just moved and we planted all these palm trees and it got to 32, but it must have stayed that way for a couple hours. And a lot of that stuff we had in the backyard died. You remember all that? Yeah. There's Neil's on even. How about that?
Holy smokes. Oh,
come up.
Guess what we see? What did we see yesterday coming across the river? What was in front of us?
Arizona plate.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Arizona. No. I know what you want to say, but you're not saying what you want to say. Alaskan plate.
Oh, well, yes.
You kept saying Arizona.
Well,
it was an Alaskan plate. There's a car in front of us. Some old geezer driving along. It's like, dude, go a little faster. You don't need to go 45, even though it says 45.
He says it's one of Neil's not relatives,
neighbors.
It's one of Neil's
down here, he's a snowbird. Down here from that's first Alaskan car I've seen down here. I've never seen an Alaskan person or car. It could be people here. We have a lot of Canadians come down here. I never met anybody from. Well, we didn't meet this guy either. We just seen his car.
Yeah.
So
he said he was at a bazaar. Hey guys, Bating Nation, I'll watch later. At a bazaar right now. Selling isn't too bad. So are you selling stuff, Neil? I don't know. I surf in cold water. That turns goes in. Too bad.
Which it is. There's a lot of people we know. One of the guys, one of our friends, which they got divorced, but he used to surf every day. Got up bright and early at 5 o'clock in the morning, went down to the beach, and he surfed and went to work after that. Every day. And
to interview Bob Laughlin.
Don Laughlin.
Yeah, it's Don Laughlin, and you're probably not going to get we even tried to get a hold of Matt, and that was another story.
Matt's his grandson, and he runs the hotel now. Says that Willie always says he knows him really well, so I don't know. I don't know what we get out of him. I don't know if anybody even watches video. Laughlin's not a big deal, and we've done some videos on Laughlin, but
I know that's why I said we were coming down the hill one time back from Vegas, and we have to go right by Laughlin. And I was thinking, because my mom, when she'd go to Vegas, she'd come down and go to Laughlin. She did that quite a few times. I said, I wonder if my mom would ever have dreamt that I would have been living right here in Laughlin. So I don't know. Hi, Jerry. Ryder Rex was on a minute ago. I don't know if he's still on. Maybe I'll make my $75 back. Did it cost $75 for your booth?
Yeah. And some of the things do work good. Sometimes they don't. We used it when we had when we had garages. I did it when I had the Ryder trucks, and we've done a lot of shows like that. We did it when we had our wedding videos. We did that. We had
We did it with Ryder trucks. We did it
that's
down
what I
the fair.
said. I did with the garage and stuff. We did that to try to promote our business and stuff because it is tough. It's tough to nowadays. It's a lot easier because you got internet. Back then we didn't have the internet.
Have we ever used any heated gear?
What?
We've got heated gear, but I don't think we've ever really used it.
No, we never used a heated gear. We've got on my bike now, which the grips aren't working. I got to get new grips, which I might be able to get a free set from somebody, and we're going to check on that. But I have a heated seat and heated grips now on my CVO, which when they work, the seat works. I used it to the seat the other day, and it makes a big difference. If you get your hands and your butt's warm, the rest of you is just fine. I can't believe. Now we've got our old gear is the old kind that you had to plug into the battery on the bike.
Like a cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Kind of
so now they've all got the ones where you put the packs inside the vest and all that. So we do have some heated vests. I think we've got some heated gloves. I've got gloves, never used them. They're still in the back, brand new package where I bought her. And but we ended up we got some, because that's what we ended up talking to people. We got snow gloves. And that's what we use.
That's what he used the other day going up to King.
And your hands, you're not going to get cold in snow gloves. And but they're a little tougher to get used, but I mean they worked. I could turn the turn signals on and start the bike with them on and all that, so it wasn't a big deal. And
but they're bulky. They're kind of hard to. You can't really. You can make a snowball with them, but that's about it.
But I mean, we've had that. We have chaps. I'm not afraid to wear chaps, just for the fact that hey, it makes a big difference when it's cold out there. And
I thought we went.
I know it almost kind of looked like something flickered there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I guess are we on still?
I don't know. You're supposed to have it already up.
Well, it was, but I don't know. My phone went off.
Make sure we're still.
Oops, there we go. This one.
That's somebody else. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're still going there. Make sure we're going. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. YouTube does like that, and it's important to do that because that helps us out. And we're going to try to start doing our videos a little more interesting. The idea is, we're kind of, I don't want to say we're stagnant, but we're
Well, it got like this 2 years ago when we finally hit 10,000. It was like, all right, because they say once you hit, you kind of exponentially goes up. So we were thinking, okay, here we go, we're on our way up, and we were at 10,000 for a year and a half.
So now we're sitting at the 20,000 mark, and kind of same thing. It's kind of like Adam's all that. I mean, he's always at that 97 and 96, and he'll be lucky if by the time Daytona starts, he'll finally hit his 10,000. But I mean, he's been working on that for probably Daytona will be a year, maybe even longer that he's been working just to get a couple thousand subscribers. Well, the problem with all this is you get to where you guys watch us on a regular basis. Well, nobody else is clicking on us. They might watch a video and say, oh, okay, yeah, they're okay. They're not coming back and watching it. So we want to get to where we want to change our thumbnails, make them a little more interesting, because it's all about catching people in the first 10 to 15 seconds you turn the video on. Because a lot of times it's like some of these people that I talk to, I'm like, man, your video you had like 10,000 views. Yeah, but I only made like $3. Well, the problem was the attention span was like 2 minutes. Well, if nobody's watching, if nobody's clicking on it and watching it all the way to the end, it ain't giving you your full potential. And not everybody does that. Some of you probably do that for us. That makes up for the other people that only watch a few seconds of it. And so it's tough. You can actually look at a graph and see, but the biggest graph is always right at the beginning. And people are like somebody, I put it on the Sturgis page, the one that's running on the bottom here, the other day, the video about the buffalo chip. Breaking news. And somebody clicked on it and said, oh, I'm not going to watch that because it's an hour-long video to hear what they're going to say. I went back and looked at it. Less than 1 minute, we told you exactly what the breaking news was. So it wasn't like you had to watch
the whole thing.
Yeah. So it's like, screw you, dude. Well, it was a girl. Screw you, Rod. I don't care. But it gets to the point where people are like, but the reason we did is because so many of you were coming on, asking questions, and we were talking about other stuff. And,
it was going to be a real short video.
Yeah. Because we don't like those. What's bad about a short, which they're getting ready to change it here. Shorts are going to start paying us to do shorts, and they're telling people you need to start doing shorts on a regular basis. Get used to it, because that's going to be. Let's see all this with TikTok and all that now. TikTok is going to give YouTube a run for their money. See, a lot of things like Instagram and things like that don't pay. And then what's that other one that a lot of people went to? Rumble. Rumble don't pay nothing hardly. And a lot of guys have gone to Rumble. They don't pay anything compared to what YouTube pays.
And YouTube don't pay hardly anything
Yeah.
to start with.
So TikTok now with Elon Musk says, hey, I want to give him a run for money. I'm willing to pay these, what do they call it?
Shorts. Oh, influencers.
Influencers more than what YouTube is. We want them to come to our channel, which he already has. He's already put it now to where you can put, I don't know, the 10-minute live video you can put on there now. And because I was thinking about linking it to this, but I don't know when it'll cut it off. And because we got and so I'm doing a little bit on TikTok, but not a whole lot of stuff. There's not a lot going on. We've been kind of putting some pictures and Thanksgiving wishes, typical stuff, to try to get you guys some information. But like somebody else told me the other day that wrote us and says, I don't watch Facebook. I don't do any of the social medias. I do watch you on YouTube, but I don't watch anything else. So he doesn't get any of the other updates that we put out, which kind of makes it tough if you don't want to use those other social medias, which I'm okay with that. I don't like Facebook either, but there isn't anything else yet that will take that place. And TikTok, I don't know how easy it is for you people to find stuff on TikTok. The only person I clicked on was Elon Musk because I just kind of wanted to see what he was saying because and I get all this other crap in there, people about people's animals. I guess I shouldn't have marked the boxes what I was interested in. Got pictures of girls in bikinis and 90s and all that stuff. I didn't ask to see any of that junk. I kind of wanted to just see my page and not anybody else. And I probably should go back in and change all this stuff and say I'm not interested in nothing.
Whatever. So this guy wanted to know what we wear in cold weather, what kind of jackets. We usually layer up because we don't.
I'll show you what I just wore.
We don't do leathers because if you have to take them off, it's so hard to find somewhere to put them. He's getting all of his gear out for you. You need to let the dog out too. I think that's what's wrong with him. So Friday he ordered his early entry pass to the Buffalo Chip VIP for the night of Oreo and 6. There you go.
We'll talk about the leather jacket first.
Yeah. It's heavy, it's cumbersome, and even when you wear it, it's like, this thing probably weighs, I don't know, 15 pounds?
But the only thing you can do with this thing is strap it to the back of your bike.
Because you can't put it in a tour pack, it's hard.
If you put it in the back, it takes up the whole room.
Yeah.
So here's normally what I wear. This is what I wore the other day.
He's got like a windbreaker kind of jacket.
So first what I do is I put on my hoodie. So I have a hoodie that I put on first.
Are you gonna put all that on?
Yeah, just see what it does. So I put my hoodie on first and I zip it all up. And because if worst comes to worst, if I've only got my half helmet on, which I have done before, is I'll put this sucker on, I'll tie it down, put my hoodie on it, and now I'm the stalker. And so we go with that. Next thing I do is I have several Harley jackets that are a little bit heavier, dudier, and that's what we put on next. Now this has got the zip up sleeves in it. I like this because of that reason, because sometimes, you get your gloves on. So then I zip all that up. I'm nice and tight. This has got the dual zipper on it. So if it's really hot, I can always crack it down or lift it up or something like that.
Rick became a sticker member.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And so this is how I normally wear. Now, being it was cold, I wore my full face helmet. I do have full face. We both have full face helmets. We have half helmets, and we go without helmets in certain times. So that's kind of set up here. I don't think I have my gloves. Your gloves are probably here. Our snow gloves.
Oh, why don't you just wore them? Or are they in the back of the bike?
I might have left them in the bike. That's chaps. Everybody probably knows what a set of chaps are, don't they?
I'm sure that everybody knows what chaps are. Harley, Frank, yeah, no TikTok. I know. They get on the rolls. They have I don't know if they're called reels on Facebook. And, I'll see a picture of a cute little girl and I'll say, oh, I want to see what she does. And then the next one comes up and the next one comes up. And the next thing you know, it's like an hour later. Like, holy cow. Thanks for all the tips.
Okay. Then we have, these aren't the really good ones. These are the Harley ones. We have some face ones. What we have is, I think they're both in the bike. We have some really nice. These are Harley ones too. This is kind of like the snow gloves we use, but these are Harley brand. They're not as big
they're real
as
thick like this. See how thick the fingers are, but they keep your hands warm.
And let's see what else.
So Harley Frank says, by the way, can you explain how to get to Patreon?
Yeah.
If you go just, if I don't know, if you're trying to get people to go to your Patreon, because ours we just did now when you could do your name. It's so you go to @Bob and Tams, and then all of our platforms come up, and Patreon's on that too. So that's if you want to get to ours. But
if you're trying to get yours,
yeah, to get people to get to yours.
The couple ways to do it is one, link it to your Facebook page. So you put your Patreon, whatever, because when you log into Patreon, it'll tell you what it is. It's Patreon/Bob and Tams, and is what ours is. Yours is whatever your name is. And now see, like ours, which is what Ryder X just did on our website, Bob and Tams. You can click up to the right, and it takes you to all of our things: Patreon, Facebook, all that stuff. What?
My glasses. Do you want to know what kind of glasses I had? I got purple glasses. I should go get them. I just got pink hair. If we're on the computer, it's when we're using our phones, I can't see. But on the computer, I can see. But
so that's how we, like what I normally do, which I have not been doing probably for 6 months here. I normally put down here when people can click on, we'll send you all the links that we have. You know, after you put your description, you write it all down there. Here's my Patreon. Here's this, here's this, here's this. That way, as long as they're not watching on their TV, they just go to the more section on your video and it all drops down. If not, their next best thing is to put it on your Facebook page saying, hey, when you do a video, say, hey, if you want to join my Patreon page, go to my Facebook page, Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventure, and I'll put the link there. You can check it out. So
Clint says there's an app too. Is there an app you can just go to, and then could you click into Harley Frank?
Yeah, you can just type in his name. So it's like I do. I have a Patreon app on my phone. So that's how I can download videos when I'm on the mode too, because Patreon's changed a lot now. We can do lives on Patreon
for
now.
Ours. Yeah, so just go to @Bob and Tams, and all of our platforms will show up.
If you're under Google, is what ours was. But ours is
sun and no wind. That's good. Rod says he rode up in New Hampshire. It was 48. It was sunny, but there was no wind, so it wasn't too bad. But that's what he says. It's in that way, if you layer up, because like when you leave, it's really cold, and let's say the wind does die down and the sun is out and you get warmer, then you can kind of take some layers off, and then you're fine, and you don't have a big old bulky leather coat to try to.
Because we usually have enough room. Like, well, if we both do that, then you know, if it gets to be like, let's say we leave this morning, it's 35 degrees and it gets up to 60. I don't need all that on.
Yeah.
So I could either take off one of the two coats. Even if we took the heavier one off, the outside one, we both do. We have plenty of room in the tour pack in the back to put them both in there without any trouble. And then leave the sweatshirt on, or leave the, you know, sometimes we'll wear long sleeve shirts too, depending on the weather, because you can, same thing, you can keep switching down all the way down to the long sleeve shirt or a button shirt with buttons. So there's a ways that we've stayed warm. Normally, we don't really ride in any weather really less than about 30 degrees. Now, I have rode in 15-degree weather. I've rode in a lot of other stuff. We used to live in the Midwest. I've rode in snow. I've rode on ice with a motorcycle, not a big bike, but a dirt bike. So I've done some crazy stuff with bikes in cold, and I've rode in snow and all that kind of stuff. So yes, but not anymore. It's kind of like, you know, if it's pouring down rain now, unless we're going to Sturgis, which we had a trip, we went to Sturgis and we had to leave in the rain. But normally, if I had planned on a ride today that we were just going to go to Vegas, and it's pouring down rain, it's like, no. There's nothing in Vegas that I need to spend all day in the rain.
I got to go get the other thing we do. You can't wear these with a full face helmet, but I don't know what they are. They look like that sock thing you put on.
I know, but it's in the bike. The bike's not here.
And it's, I don't know. I would call it a muff, but it goes on your head, and that keeps you nice and warm, keeps your ears warm.
It's great when you have a half helmet.
Yeah, but to put that on and then try to put on a full helmet, it don't work. It's too thick.
But it's mainly for, well, you can put it down to where it's around your neck and keep it on. Now, we bought it at place that sells them is, what's the thing that J&P Cycle owns also?
Oh, Cycle Gear?
Cycle Gear's got them. And that's where we bought them all at. And they're a little short. They're about this tall, and they're real fuzzy on the outside. They're not fuzzy on the inside.
I like felt, but it's a little thicker than
And you put it in, and you can still breathe through it. And so when we're riding with our half helmets, it's a way you can keep we're both the same way. If our ears get cold, we get earaches it hurts really bad. So instead of putting earplugs in, we can pull those things up. You can put it over your nose if you want, or you pull it down and still be able to breathe.
But I used to wear a scarf when I used to ride back and forth to work in California, because I'd leave like at 5:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I used to take a scarf and put it around my neck. And everybody said, I always knew it was you because your scarf was flying in the background, kind of like Snoopy when he's on his airplane. I don't know. That's what everybody used to tell me when they'd see me when I was riding to work.
So that's kind of a gear. Maybe we'll do a video and talk about all that because, like I say, my bike's over at the other shop now, and so we don't have. I'm not able to open it up because we lost one of the face ones, and when I was going through that bag or in the closet here, I found it, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw it in there. That way, we know both of them are in there. And one of them was in the trailer. Maybe that's where I found it, was in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
And so I threw it in the bike so that way.
Because the original ones we had were a lot thinner, I think, and then we lost one. And then we bought another one, and then we couldn't find one, and we bought another one. And then these seem to be real thick. They're almost like doubled and folded in.
And they're about $20. Like I say, we'll find them, and maybe we'll do a video since it is wintertime for most of you, and talk about the gear that we use and ride with and things like that, and give you some links on what we have, where you can get it at. And probably won't have any links that will make any money on them, but that's okay. Just to give you guys some good information.
Are you guys still up in Sturgis? David Eastwood, he said he found an ice cream place for me.
I think they wrote me the other day and said yesterday they were at, are you the guys that were at Louis again eating? Somebody did it and I just gave them a thumbs up. I didn't look to see who
it was. Probably them, because they were the ones that said, I guess they went up. Did you guys go up there for Thanksgiving? Do you guys have relatives up there? Whoa, I'm way behind. Looky there. Hey, Cameron, how are you doing? Traveler, nice. Net Gator. Yeah, that's kind of what they're called, I guess. Sure hope you had a great Thanksgiving, even better Christmas. Hope to see you all soon. Us too, Tony. And we hope all of you guys had a very nice Thanksgiving with your friend. Fishermen wear those also. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, Ryder X. He'll check out the Toastmaster. That's what he says he wears. Neck and face covering. Yeah. It's our ears that get so cold. Some call them buffs. Yeah. That's what it looks like. It looks like the muffs that you could put your hands in, but they go over your head.
Let me look on Cycle Gear and see what. Because it's got to be one of the things.
They're all saying baklava. Baklava to me is that really sweet honey thing. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong. Yeah, I don't know. That must be called that too, they're saying. It's a whooping 6 Fahrenheit here, so at least no snow. Wow, that's cold. Somebody else said it was -5. I'm like, gee whiz, that's cold. The only cool thing about our Toastmaster heating gear is it's all Bluetooth and controlled through your phone or a large external button. There you go. That's pretty cool.
This is probably pretty similar to what it is. They call it on Cycle Gear a turtle fur turtle neck warmer. Ain't that a heck of a name? 1686. So let's see if you can see it. There it is. So that's kind of like what it is. I don't know if it's the exact same one we've got, but that was on Cycle Gear. 1686. That's a pretty good price. That's probably about what we paid for it.
Yeah.
The first ones we bought.
Under $20.
Yeah. I just thought it'd be over 20 by now. They make bigger ones.
Still work. Yeah, but sometimes they're real thin. Those bandanas that you can put on.
Yeah. See, there's one there. This is a lot thinner one. See, it's only $10. And what we're after is something that's going to keep us warm. That's what we want. So that first one's the one
that was them. They said they're still there, and now we're really blurry.
That's because this was going.
I know, but usually it clears up right away. Still blurry. I don't know.
Get my shirt up there to clean it.
Yum. I know baklava. That's a Greek. Is it Greek? I knew it was something. A lot of our patients would bring that in for us, and it was almost. And I love sweets, but that was almost too sweet for me. They're called balaclava. Balaclava. I don't know.
What?
Looked like baklava to me.
For what?
That they were calling it. That's what they were all calling it. Some helmets have a chin skirt. Oh, I don't know. I never seen that. I know some of them have the stuff for your eyes, like a. Jay-Z said that would.
We're gonna clean the camera. See if that helps.
This
is really bad.
It was fine until you put your camera up there. It's still a little fuzzy.
Move out of the way. I'll come back. Is it any better?
No, it's not.
No.
Well,
it is what it
maybe
is.
It's just us. Yeah, it's on ours because it doesn't look bad here.
Oh, all right. Maybe it's just us.
Yeah, ours does look really. Yeah. Looks like I need to put my glasses on.
The words are clear.
REI's Gator, some wool works. Good heater gear works for me, not bulky when you take it off. Yeah.
So we're always looking for. That's one of the things we look at when we're traveling. Like I've gone to Reno. We went to Reno for the what do they call that thing in Reno? Street Vibration. Went to the October one with a bunch of guys long time ago, 10, 12 years ago. And there it did. It got into the 30s. So you bring, which I do, we try to pack, if we're riding on our bike and we're in that kind of weather, we bring our chaps. It could be this 80 degrees. Now, if we're traveling, like here, if you're going to Grand Canyon, it could be 80 degrees here, and it could be 40 degrees at the Grand Canyon. So you got to think about all the things you need to bring. So typically, if we were going to Sturgis next year on our bike, we bring our chaps. We bring those 2 coats like that. We're going to double up on coats. We're not going to bring the snow gloves, but we do have the thin liners that you put under your gloves.
Regular gloves.
So we do have those.
They're like nylon. They're real thin, but they keep your hands warm.
So we bring those. We bring our regular gloves that we have, and we bring our fingerless gloves that we wear. We bring that pull-up mask that we have. We bring a full rain gear. I have rain boots.
I have galoshes.
We don't normally bring the galoshes. They're in the trailer.
I don't know. I don't know why it's out of focus. That's why what Rider X says he's out. It's not bad. Is yours?
I don't know. Let me make it big. Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Let me go down here to the settings.
If I put it back up again and back.
And it still looks the same.
Oh, there. Now it did it. Now it's okay.
Oh, all right. Stupid camera. You spend $50 for it and you're supposed to be a good camera. Then you watch another guy's video and go, well, that one's a piece of junk. You should have bought this other one.
Yeah. I don't know. Polar fleece layering is awesome. Yeah, a couple extra pieces in your bag. That's good. Then
they're advertising those ones on TV now that Alaskan cold or something.
Oh, bear skins.
Yeah.
That new jacket.
So I don't know if anybody bought any of those or not. And,
they look really nice and warm. Much better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the camera. Good now. They're all saying it's better.
So yeah. So maybe we'll do a video on that, on clothing, and let you know.
In cold weather.
And so that's kind of the gear that we normally, and we do wear boots. Like if we're traveling to Sturgis, we wear our boots on the bike, bring a pair of tennis shoes with us to be at the rally. Because the boots take up way too much room. Put them on your feet. You can slide. Or just once we put the saddle, if we have saddlebags, which we have saddlebags, put the saddlebags on, and we go for us. We can pack all of our stuff on our one bike we're gone, what, 7, 8, 9, 10,
almost
11, 12.
2 weeks.
Yeah, about 12 to 13 days we're on the road. We can pack everything in the bike, and we have one bag that's on the back of the bike. That's it. And we keep everything we need.
Excluding
with us.
any YouTube cameras, videos.
Yeah, that's before YouTube.
That's just us just going up to Sturgis.
Which I bring some kind of camera. We bring some cameras along, but I wouldn't have YouTube stuff. I wouldn't bring a computer and all the stuff that we have now. That's why I said when people ask us if we why we don't ride a bike anymore. One is because of her issues. She can't ride on a bike. 100 miles, she's about dead. She can't hardly walk the next day. So with all her ailments, that's one reason we don't do it. So that's the reason we bought the toy hauler. The second reason is because it's equipment that I carry. And, you might be another YouTuber and says, hey, I just bring a laptop and one camera. Well, I don't. I bring cameras for everything.
I use my phone. I edit on my phone. I do everything on my phone.
I don't know how you guys do it. Amazon Adam does it too. That would drive me. Heck, I have enough trouble just trying to type in the text if we're texting
Patreon
something.
Patreon doesn't have an I in it, does it?
Patreon.
I tried to do it. Let's see. Laugh out loud. Patreon. 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 I think it's an E.
So the app, we won't go so close. See the little black thing there? That's the app. Patreon app. So you would hit on the Patreon app.
Well, go through Bob and Tam's. Do at Bob and Tam's and try to show them. Oh, there's Mitch and Diana. They're on watching. How you guys doing? Hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. My wife says I'm worse than a woman because I can barely fit a week's worth of clothes on my bike. Yeah, I know. It's hard. And sometimes I do get a couple pair of shoes in there, but not usually. I'll always take flip-flops too. If it's going to be warm where we're at. But if you're on your bike, I don't wear flip-flops on the bike.
Okay, so you can go to our website and click up at the 3 bars at the top, and it'll show you support our adventures. And when you pull that down, it'll show you Patreon right there. So you can click on that, and it'll take you right to Patreon.
Rider X already told him all that.
Oh, well, I'm telling you again. He said he tried, he couldn't get to it. So go to our Facebook, our YouTube, our website.
Is it cold up there?
bobandtams.com. Go to bobandtams.com, open it up, hit the top 3 bars on the right, go down to support our adventures, and it's got the Amazon store, Bob and Tam's Patreon page, cool merchandise, and our PayPal. If you just want to send me some money, you can send it through PayPal. And so that's all there. And so that's easy to find. RiderX helped us with all that.
Yep.
And got us all set up. And he does websites if you guys are
if
interested in having him get it started for you. And then once you get it started, it's pretty easy to maintain it. And so he got, which it is, we just got to sit down and do it. Our daughter helped us the other day. Just to kind of show her how to do it on the Apple computer. So as soon as she gets to sit down and do a little bit more, then we got to get some more stuff to put on the channel. And so our website's moving along. So it's kind of neat. You got a few things now you can click on and actually go somewhere.
Area. I don't know, where's Grant Wood at in Iowa?
I don't know. I'm not a real.
The only thing I know is Grant's Farm, and that's in St. Louis. That was Ulysses Grant's Farm.
So
you've been on an hour. 66 people on.
Caught up with your thing?
I think so. Yep.
No, caught up with comments. That's good.
There you go.
She made it way. So I've got a lot of exciting things going on.
Well, we can tell them if they didn't watch the other live the other day what Buffalo Chip had to say.
Yep. Actually, I didn't look today. You can still get the $2.95 price. Get it before Monday morning. They said it was going to stop. It was there yesterday. And because I went on there because we didn't buy our pump outs. So I wanted to hurry up because they could go up. Anything could go up at the Buffalo Chip, but typically they don't raise the price of your campsites. It's the bands. And like I say, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's just too expensive to spend $2.95 to go to the Buffalo Chip. Well, first of all, go to the Glencoe and pay $2.95 and get a pass there. And you might see a few people without clothes on it, but I mean, they're not going to have any name bands there. They're going to have some tribute bands, and they might have Kane. What's that girl's name? Jasmine Kane there. But I mean, she's going to play all over town anyway for free. So you can see her. I think they already booked her at Kickstands. So you can go to Kickstands and watch her for free. You don't even have to pay the $2.95. So with the Buffalo Chip on Tuesday, August 8th, who are they going to have?
They're going to have Styx and REO Speedwagon.
There you go. Two great 70s, 80s bands. So
some of my favorites.
Yeah. So they've been touring together for I think for the last year or so. So Tuesday's going to be a great night to be.
We did.
I can tell you somebody that's going to be right down front all the way for both concerts.
Yep.
And be checking that all out.
All right, Dave. And
so that'll be pretty exciting. If so it's already they're going to have some great bands this year. Rod, we've talked to him several times, and he's all excited. He wants us to call him as often as we can. We wanted to make a video for him today. We're trying to help him with his YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel, they got 50,000 subscribers, but if you watch any of their videos, it's more like an infomercial. They're kind of showing, which is great. They have no face. They have nothing. So we said we would help him. He wants to be his face. Because I said, we'll do it for you if that's what you want or whatever.
So you need to have a spokesperson. Who would you like to have a spokesperson? He's like, well, I'm the Chip. It should be me. I said, there you go.
So he wants us to help him get it going and start doing stuff. He already wanted to do stuff last week. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. And so he's got a whole crew that does stuff, but I think they're more into, they probably went to film school or something like that, and they learned that way. And YouTube's a lot. YouTube, if anybody, you that are on YouTube know that this is a whole different thing than watching a movie or a TV show or something like that. So, and most of the people here are amateurs. Some of the people have built themselves up to be, professionals, and they do a really good job at what they do. And people say the same thing. When we did Sturgis this year, they said, they can really tell this last year we did a lot better in 2022 than we did in 2021.
That's like he always says, you're always learning. It's not like I know it all now, but you don't, because when YouTube changes their mind every other day.
And so you try, plus there's millions and millions and millions of other YouTubers coming on here and doing the same thing. So you've got to try to get a niche, and a niche is what you do, whatever your channel's about. Ours is motorcycles, is mainly what our channel is about, is rallies. That's what the majority of our channel is about. We got a couple of things. We're talking about the garage and stuff, and we'll get more into that. We'll start talking about parts and stuff. And it's similar to what some of the other people like us are doing. But you don't want to imitate somebody. And a lot of people try to do what we do. They see that, hey, they're really doing really good. They're really busy. They got a video that from Sturgis last year did 165,000 views. Wow, they're really making the money. You find out that you don't make as much money as you think. Just because
if you figure out how much hours you put into it.
I made a lot more money doing what I did before. And so, but we enjoy doing this. We have a lot of fun doing this. We love meeting you guys. That's one of the things that we find when we talk to some of the bigger YouTubers. They really don't want to do any of that. They don't really want to meet people. Now we have a couple of our friends that we know. One guy's got a couple 100,000. He loves meeting people. Another guy that's got the Prime Cut Pro, which some of you have gone and checked him out. He's got 960,000. He's happy to talk to you. But I mean, his channel's different because it's mainly all about the girls. And we're going to try to get, which we already have. We've kind of gotten away from so much of that because if the only reason you're coming here is to look at the girls at the rally, then the only time you're going to watch my videos is when we have girls as a thumbnail. So we're going to change that next year. We'll probably have a few still on, but not like we did before. And we didn't do it so much this year. We didn't chase them all around like poor Adam does that. He's always chasing the girls, and that's fine. But if that's the only reason people are watching you, there's a lot of other people doing a heck of a lot better job than we can do on the girls. The Prime Cut Pro is an example. He's been doing this.
He's the pro.
He's been doing it since spring breaks. That was his specialty. If you go back and watch his stuff, he'll show you all the bikini girls. He does the mud runs, and he's got the knack of it. And that's why he's got an awesome documentary. What's his name? Rick. And they're a great guy. He's got like 600,000 subscribers. And if you want to see that type of avenue, there you go. They'll give you all the girls you want to see. So, we'll still do the Topless Tuesday. We'll put more of that on Patreon. Pretty sure our guy that went this year, he's going to go next year again. He loved it. We're trying to get him at the chip to help us with the chip film and stuff. But he's thinking about it now because I said, well, I'd get you a pass. And then I said, but, you'd have to sleep like in a tent. He said, really? I'm like, why? Well, I'm going to do that for free. And I'm like, well, we can. We'll put you right by us or whatever. And then you can go out and film whatever. And you don't have a motorcycle. He has a car. But he would have a lot. He did. When he went to Topless, he's a professional nude photographer. He's been doing it since the 80s. And he's done the people he's photographed back in the 80s. You would be like, holy crap, he took pictures of them. So what he did this year with the camera that's why wasn't the greatest video, is with his camera, somebody gave him a device that he could hook to his camera base that he could put his phone on it. So he just turned his phone sideways and hit record when he was taking pictures. So some of them weren't, you lost their headshots or stuff like that. I mean, you've seen the important stuff that you wanted to see on Patreon. I still got some pictures to still put up that I'm going to probably put up before Christmas and finish that out. And we'll have that all done. I do have some other videos I need to go through because we had a lot more girls this year that were flashing down on Main Street and a lot of places like that we never have seen before. And so we've got some shots of that I need to throw up on Patreon too.
I don't know who Bry is.
What?
Toby says he likes the monkeys, which I'm assuming he's talking about Professional Monkey, and Bry. I'm not sure who Bry is.
And
Stand Up and Real People. Original, yeah.
And so yeah, and
that's like you said. There's so much, and everybody's unique, and I think that's a lot of people watch different people just for the personalities. They like that. Toby says girls aren't bad,
which they're not, and we'll still put some on, but we're not going to spend a whole day just chasing the girls around from one bar to another. It just isn't. It does get you views, but I'd rather spend more time and make my videos a better quality. And so what we want to do is we want to make our videos more interesting. We want to start doing some more.
Happy belated birthday. His birthday was yesterday, I think. Wasn't it? Everybody tell Stephen happy birthday. Trixie's birthday, SJS's birthday. A lot of people have birthdays this
November.
week. Yeah.
November babies.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try to go to the next level again on our videos. Equipment-wise, we've gotten enough, I think, to do what we need to do. I got a new gimbal coming. I want to get a new phone. But I may just end up using my phone if I can't get a new one and just turn off the ringer. I don't normally get calls anyway. And or I could use the team phone, but if we're more people that are at rallies are going to contact us through that phone.
I think that's how Prime Cut Pro did so well, because that was probably the end of the era of the Girls Gone Wild, and then Prime Cut Pro kind of started doing this. And I think everybody that would watch Girls Gone Wild just kind of found him. I think that's what he did.
The things that ended up happening with
73, there you go.
With what was the first one you said?
Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, Girls Gone Wild is you got too many girls that was underage, and you're bringing them back to the room and you're doing filming and stuff. That's a whole different thing.
That guy that started that was like in his early 20s,
and he gave him ultimately there, but I don't know if he's got any money yet or more. I know he got sued a lot, And I don't know if he went to jail or not, but I mean, it got
We
really bad
watched a
for him
documentary or something on Nick
a while
months
back.
ago.
And but what Prime Cut does is when we do stuff like out here in public like this, and people can't say a whole lot to you. Now you could be on the Broken Spoke, and you could walk in there, and they could tell you, the owner could tell you, or the management could say, you can't film here, and you got to get out. So a business or private property can tell you what to do. But if you're on Main Street in Sturgis or Main Street in Daytona and you're filming stuff, and somebody says you can't film me,
Turkey
to you
baby.
too, dude. There's nothing you can do. You're in public. There's street cams all over the place too, so they can do that. Used to be you had a certain time limit, but nowadays you can't. Well, look at some of these younger. There was somebody the other day that showed a picture. I don't know if it was on TV or what. We were watching something the other day and said the girl was only 15 years old, and it's like, holy crap, she looked like she was like 25.
Oh, it was that Howard Hughes movie we watched the other night.
Oh, is that what it was?
Because that's what he said. He had gotten. It was, if you had ever watched The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, it was pretty good. But anyway, one of his girls he bought or whatever
was trying to help out.
Yes, was only 15.
Parents were fine with it. I guess he was rich, so they didn't care.
Grand Funk Railroad blew it up. Awesome in West Palm Beach, Florida. Was so happy to be in a crowd and hear and feel the great music. I know. That's our genre, is the 70s rock and roll.
And it's stuff we had when we were in high school and stuff like that. That's when we listened to music the most, probably, is when we were in high school. And then after we got out of high school, I kind of switched over to country. That's when country got really hot. Garth Brooks and Dunn, and all that. We kind of started listening to that.
I was having a fit. It's like, what do you listen to this?
But she got it big in the country. She line danced and did it all.
Well, my dad listened to country. Growing up.
Yeah, they listened to Conway Twitty and George Jones and all that kind of stuff.
But I was like,
Tear in a Beer songs. And so she ended up listening to country.
I did.
So then, because it's like now.
Being
now
in high school, I would probably say it was probably REO.
And
I liked REO.
We had.
They were from.
Way back when we had 8 tracks. I had ELO. We had Boston, we had Aerosmith, we had Kiss, we had Meatloaf. I've seen Meatloaf a couple times in concerts back in those days. We didn't really listen much to like the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. That was music we did listen to, but I mean, I didn't have a cassette for either one of those two. We had, you forgot Bob Seger.
Bob Seger was
the Eagles.
Eagles.
I had Joe Walsh tapes. Joe Walsh. I'm a big Joe Walsh fan. And who else did I have in my box?
There you go.
That's the only ones I can think of right now. But a lot of that is I have about 10,000 CDs now that when we used to be a DJ company that I
never really were big into Zeppelin either.
No, I wasn't a big Led Zeppelin guy either.
Leonard Skinner, Alabama, that really was like Southern rock kind of stuff like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's just like Jackal. I never even heard of Jackal until the TV show Full Throttle. It's like a lot of these other bands, like Shinedown, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
Some of these other bands that were out there this year, I have never heard of any of those people. We went on and we Googled some of their songs or top songs, never heard any of them songs. I don't know where they play them at. I know they're popular because a lot of people ask for those groups, just not in our genre. We pretty much, when we were younger, we listened to top 40, and that's pretty much, Elton John and all that stuff that when we grew up in the 70s, we listened to. And like I say, when we got married,
Foghat.
Yeah, Foghat's actually
Cheap Trick.
Foghat used to play in our high schools and stuff. Foghat, and what's the other one?
Head East.
Head East. I know a lot of me not know that. That's more of a Midwestern band, but they used to play
at REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, and Kiss used to play. My sister seen Kiss in Forest Park in St. Louis before they ever started wearing makeup, and so. Yeah, so those are the kind of things that we kind of seen. And
it was funny, we were watching, I don't know what show we were watching the other night, and they were telling about what armies they were in. And so one of the little kids asked his dad, he says, "Daddy, were you ever in the army?" And he's like, "Well, it must have been, I don't know." He said, "I was in the Kiss Army, if that counts." And he's like, "Okay."
But the school said, "My daddy was in the Kiss Army," which I didn't know. We never knew anything about that. When we were in high school, we never heard of anything about Kiss Army or anything like that. I never heard of that. And
or does anybody know what? If you tell somebody that they were a goat, like somebody that's big and famous, you know what a goat is? I just learned that today too. Oh Lord, somebody's absolutely did wrong. Does anyone notice Paul Pelosi's lover looked just like Nancy? We never really listened to much of blues either, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, we know a song or two, but
we know now. But
I
once we
like
started
it.
DJing, I never
Like
even listened
Ranger
to
and
like Bust a
Space
Move or Rapper's Delight or Salt and Pepper,
Bad
any of that stuff
Company.
until we got into DJing.
There you
And
go.
then we started hearing that kind of music and we started playing that because that's
About
what
the
makes
Clash.
girls dance.
That was more in the 80s, I
What?
think. The Clash
Yeah, they're more of
and
an
the
80s band.
Knack and all that.
And we had it played at our wedding, My Sharona.
Yep.
It was popular then, and Black Betty by
Foghat and I can't think of who Black Betty was by now.
It's,
Ram Jam.
Ram Jam.
Yeah, Ram Jam. That was
Yeah.
I had 8-track tape for that. Went to see Foghat in '78. There you go. Chicago. That's another good band at the airport.
While
And
in
Nashville.
Chicago.
Yeah, I know, but I mean
Chicago kind of sucks because they've got probably 1,000 songs and they never play. And Kiss is the same way. And some of these big bands, Styx is kind of like that too. They've got so many songs that if you like us, we grew up in the '70s and we've got the Grand Illusion album and Kiss. We got Kiss Alive, and those are the ones we listen to over and over and over. And so those are the songs we really knew.
Yeah.
So when you hear a lot of, which way I know a few more Kiss songs now, but we went to a Kiss concert probably 10 years ago. And she didn't know half the songs they played. They played, well, the one that Michael likes is Psycho Circus or something. I had heard that song, but I mean, I didn't really know it that well. And some of the other ones that they played.
Aerosmith.
Yeah. Aerosmith's another group like that. We went and seen Aerosmith one time, and they played They didn't play any songs. They played Sweet Emotion, and they played Walk This Way, and that was it. Everything else was crap we never heard of before.
And I mean, we've been listening to them too in the 90s.
You know, we
and the
listened to
2000s.
Pink and all that kind of stuff.
Jaded and all that, and they didn't.
Jamie's Got a Gun, and none of that stuff they played. And it's like
Love in the Elevator, none of that.
Toys in the Attic, and all none of those are good songs that they have. But I mean, because they got so many. Well, see, that's also when you have a band that comes out that, like, let's say Chicago comes to Sturgis, which I'm not saying Chicago is. We never even talked about Chicago, and they've got a new album coming out. Let's say, well, they're going to play 5 or 6 stupid songs off of this album that nobody's ever heard of before. And I wonder if they ever sell any of those. Because when I go to a concert and I hear a song I don't know, I kind of tune it out. I only want to hear stuff that I know. That's one of the reasons I really like watching tribute bands. We have a Journey tribute band. We have a Bob Seger Out This Way that sound just like this. Journey is just like Steve Perry. Does a great job. We got 2 of them out here that do that. Great job. We have a Bob Seger that sounds close your eyes and even looks like Bob Seger. Yeah. And but of course they're going to play all their hits, and those are that's what we want to hear. We want to hear the good stuff. I don't give a crap about your new stuff you're selling. It ain't nobody gonna watch it anyway. You hate the song, right? Right, said Fred.
Yeah, I'm too sexy.
I'm too sexy.
I'm too sexy. Well, we used to play that at a lot of weddings. I don't know why.
Not my favorite song either.
So it says Mitch and Diane.
She like Salt and Pepper, which is your Salt and Pepper song. Push it.
Push it.
Push it.
Push it real good. There was a commercial on that. My grandkid says, "You know that song, Mama?" Mm-hmm. So those mean never Black Jacket Symphony. They played Led Zeppelin, Van Halen's good, Leonard Skinner. YouTube them, unreal. Okay, Black Jacket Symphony. Let me write it down.
I think are they from California? Because somebody had recommended a band a while back and wanted me to kind of get them to come to Sturgis. So my comment was, "Do you know anybody from the band?" They're like, "No." Well, I can't just randomly call them up and say, "Well, would you like me to help you?" You know,
Gio, want to go to Sturgis?
So my idea would be if you knew somebody in a band and they're really, really good, then let me know their name and a contact phone number to call them to where I can call them and say, "Hey, what are you looking at? What do you want to charge? What do you want to do?" And then I can contact a lot of the different bars we know and say, "Hey, here's a good band that, you know, you might want to check it out. They're on YouTube or wherever they're at." And a lot of it depends on what's bad about Sturgis is it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. So it's tough to get people, you know, it's like here, Styx and REO Speedwagon, you might think, man, that's a pretty good band. They're playing on Tuesday. So they got them at a great deal probably because it's in the middle of the freaking week where they normally play Fridays or Saturdays everywhere. And most of these bands are like that. They do a Friday or a Saturday. Edgar Winter my brother was a big Edgar Winter fan. He was also a Billy Idol. And
Rod Stewart, we saw him.
Yeah. Just a couple years ago.
Ryder X, said, have you ever had a flat front tire on any of your bikes?
Was it the front tire that went bad?
It was the back.
Back tire.
But which one? I guess it was the back. When Sherry came and got you in the trailer and came back from LA, was that the back one? That's when we had it fixed? That was the front?
So yes, I've had tire. I have never, the one with the back tire that went bad. I'll give you a quick story, really quick. Nobody else wants to hear all kinds of things that happen to
I
us.
know, but you've told this story before.
Anyway, maybe not
Yes,
everybody
you
knows
have.
about it. So we're getting ready to go up the coast on the 4th of July. She loves
Arizona.
fireworks. She loves fireworks. So we lived in Southern California at this time. And so what I did is I found out that if you sit a certain place around, actually on the other side of San Francisco on the bay, if you sit over there, you can actually see 3 to 4 different cities shooting off fireworks. So I said, hey, here's what we're going to do for 4th of July. We're going to go up. One of my favorite places in California I love to go to is Morro Beach. Fishing town, just Morro Bay. Great little fishing town. And that's kind of where I get out on the 1 and start going up the 1. Well, we've gone the 1 all the way up, but that's kind of the great place to go out. So I went and got a brand new tire put on the back of my bike to get ready for this trip. A guy that we've had a bunch of tires put on in Garden Grove, California. Went there, got the tire put on, took it up. I rode it about 100 miles.
A fat tire, not a flat tire.
Oh, no, I never had a fat tire. But you're not going to, I don't know if you're going to feel much difference. I've rode a bike with, she had a fat tire on your.
I loved it. Well, one time I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what he did to my bike. And I felt like I was riding on glass all the way to work. And I said, what did you do to my bike? I said, I love it. He's like, I just put some air in the tires. Oh my gosh. It was like
back to where it's supposed to be. So on this trip,
Carlin is the goat. There you go.
He's dead.
I know.
And, but so we go up to there. So
that rear tire.
Yeah.
Do they make those? Well, on my Fat Boy Low.
Yeah. It was pretty wide, not that wide.
That was big.
Yeah. So
I liked it.
But yeah. So when you put this, so we went up there. Someone finished the story. There's probably other people that want to hear the story that, even though it's about a fat tire, just a rear tire. And so we go up. So I take the highway. We go up the 101 and try to take it easy because you put a new tire on your bike. You should drive about 100 so miles just to kind of get that first rubber off. So you don't, somebody from California.
Yeah. That's Mission Diane.
Oh, and but so we're going up there. So the bike's running pretty good. I put 100 miles on. We drove normal. I didn't do anything crazy stuff. So we're going to get back out on the 1. So we go to Morro Bay and we stay all night. Next morning, we get up bright and early and we're going to take our ride up the coast. We're going to go up through Big Sur and we're going to end up, I don't know where the first place we were going to stop up there. Some place that we were going to stop. I don't know if we were going to go all the way up to San Francisco that night or not.
I think Monterey Bay we were going to stop.
And so we had 2 hotels already booked that we were going to pay or going to stay at. So we get out on the road, and this is where it starts getting windy a little bit. And the bike's kind of acting squirrely. And it's like, what's going on with this? So I pull over, and I look at the front tire, and because it kind of feels like up here in the handlebars. And I'm like, I look at it, I kick the tire, and I'm like, it looks all right. So I pull back out. Well, at that time, if you're ever on the 1 around Big Sur, they always have construction going on. They have a lot of mudslides there. So the road came down. So they had 1 lane that you had to ride in. So we came up to this light and the bike is really squirrely now. And I'm like, man, something is really not right here. So at the stoplight, I get off the bike because it's a 2-mile stretch. So you're there 10 minutes. So I get off the bike, turn it off. I look at the front tire again. I kick it and I'm like, I don't see anything wrong. So get back on the bike. We go all the way to the top of the hill, to Big Sur. And there's nothing there but a restaurant and a hotel. Start to go down the hill and something happens. The bike just does this. And I'm like, holy crap. Well, I went to hit the back brake because I'm thinking it's the front tire. Hit the back brake and the bike is still going. So at this point, we're coming down a hill. I'm downshifting. It's not making any difference on the bike. And so we're heading to the left. You could go off about a 500-foot straight down cliff to rocks that's down at the Pacific Ocean. Other choice is to go against the cliffs that have a rock base, which to the right, there was some parking blocks, the big concrete ones that they put when they switch lanes and stuff that you see in the middle of the road was there. So I look back at her, I'm slowing down. I'm like, get ready to jump off the bike. You jump to the left and I'll stay on the bike until you get off. So we're getting closer and closer to this. And I'm like, get ready to jump. So I hit the front brake just as reaction and the bike starts slowing down. We stop about a foot away from this barricade. So I get off the bike and it's the freaking back tire came off the rim. So that's the whole story. We sit there for 8 hours waiting for a tow truck and they take us to the dealer at 8.
Didn't get to see the fireworks either.
Yeah. Well, you did see fireworks.
Well, yeah. We had to walk to them. No, we went to Gilroy, which is the garlic capital of the United States. Yes. Happy birthday, Patty Cakes and Poncho. How you guys all doing? Happy birthday. There's a lot of birthdays tonight. How about that?
Birthday in the house.
There is. That's like the 4th or 5th birthday tonight. Trixie's birthday, Patty Cake's birthday, Steven's birthday, SJS's birthday.
So if
Somebody
Rider
else,
X,
too.
you're thinking about putting a fat tire on the back of your bike, you need to go rent some bikes. Rent some bikes that's got fat tires on it and see if you're going to like it. You're going to spend a lot more money. You got a conversion that you have to do. There's a lot of different things. The only thing bad about when you start doing stuff, especially to the newer bikes, you start putting all the different tires on and you change a lot of stuff that wasn't factory. You change the way the bike rides and performs because the bike wasn't built to do all that.
The other thing was all the accessories are a lot more expensive. To get the 60 bar in the back of my Fat Boy Low was twice as much as my other bike, the Sportster, because you have to buy it wider. And then what was the other thing we bought that was, I guess, the back seat? It was just everything was always more expensive
because it's not as popular. They don't have it. They're not selling it as much. So that's when you got to start looking at, there's, like I said, go buy some good shocks.
19th.
If I was, before I put a fat tire on the back of my bike, now I might consider a front tire with a fat tire. But what I don't like about changing that is because the front tire is not going to, the wheel's not going to match the back wheel. Because, and if you got side bags, you're really not going to see it, but somebody would know it if I had a fat tire on the front, it had a different rim from the back. There you go. So that would be my problem too. It's not the same. So, and I wouldn't want to put because changing the front tire is not so bad. You got to change the frame. I mean, not the frame. You got to change the fender. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot more you have to do to it to do the front, but the back you do, because you got to look at all the different stuff that could rub by having a fat tire on the back. And then you got to worry about, do you want the bike to sit lower? You want to sit higher? Is it going to rub on the fender? And
he's already got the old ones, he said, for the front and the back suspension.
And so what you'd want to do probably is call Olin up, tell him what kind of bike you have, and tell him you're thinking about putting XYZ Y tire on the bike and see what they think about it.
I think Rider X has, if I'm not mistaken, a CVO Road King?
Road Glide.
Road Glide. George says he had a chopper with a fat rear tire and it wanted to stand up in turns. He said it looks cool, but it rides bad. So I don't know if that's going to be the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, I would do what Bob said. Try to find somebody that's got one with a big fat tire on the back and ride it. I liked it on my Fat Boy Low.
But it's that low. The Fat Boy Low doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. It doesn't have saddlebags. It doesn't have a backrest. It's a lower sitting bike. And it's just a sport. It's just a soft tail. So you don't have as much as you have on a touring bike. So I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to do.
He's thinking about a fat tire for the front.
I know, but what are you trying to gain out of it?
Just so it looks cool. Street Glide. Oh, it's a Street Glide CVO? I don't know. Why did I think it was a Road King?
I wouldn't
or road Glide. I don't know what I thought it was. He wanted to know, I taught Jay-Z how to rap. I don't know who that is, but I think it's a new person. Any intermediate or advanced training classes? I did.
She had never rode a motorcycle in her life. Well, she did. I took her out in a parking lot one time. We rented a bike and she rode around a little school at a parking lot. That's the most I ever let her ride a bike. And then she took, and when we started in California, we lived in a small town called Corona, California, which really isn't that small. It's probably got 150,000 people. But our Harley dealer, which was part of Riverside Harley Davidson, we had our own chapter, Hog Group. That's the first time we bought a Harley right when we moved to Corona. And we joined the Hog Group. That's the first time, if you have a good Hog Group, it's the best thing to learn how to ride with a group and meet a lot of great people. And we had a lot of fun with that. That was probably the best thing we've ever done in our life. Well, we had a Christmas party. We actually had more women in our group. We had more guys at home that didn't own a motorcycle, sat at home watching sports on the weekends, and they would let their wives ride with us. A few guys, me, Art, and a couple other guys, with all these girls with us all the time. We went riding all the time with them and had a lot of fun with them and stuff. And so they were always hard
to ride.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Well, it ended up being one of the Christmas parties. One of the girls that already had a bike, she won
Rider's Edge training
like a $300 course back then it was. And they came to her and said, hey, if we give you this, will you take the class? And she said, yeah, I'll take the class. Well, she was actually she rode better than I did. She could take that bike and she would turn sideways in a turn. She'd go an exit ramp. It's 30 miles an hour. She'd do 80 and she'd be all the way down. She could have touched her handlebars to the edge. That's how close she was. until she slid the bike a couple times in rocks, and that kind of stopped that. But before that, she had a lot of confidence and stuff, and she really pushed it. And so during that time when she was taking the class, I found a 1200 Sportster that a Marine had traded in because we were close to Camp Pendleton. That already had soft saddlebags on it, had a windshield on it. It was really nice bike. It was really good. It had about
2009, and it was in 2007, so it was only 2 years old.
Yeah, had 12,000 miles on it. We got an excellent deal. We got it like for $7,000. And she rode that thing until it had 50,000 miles on it. And so what ended up happening was I started riding that. Old Sportster was especially at 1200, 883. What a waste of time. 1200, it would poop and go. And I loved riding that thing, especially in splitting lanes, because that thing was fast and it's skinny and you could really move along with it. I didn't care for a fat boy. My knees were up around my chin. And but the fat boy or the Sportster was really fun bike. And it started having oil leaks and a lot of different things going with her. And of course, I asked her the question, do you want to get your bike fixed? Do you want to get a different bike?
Let's get a different bike. Well, I got my fat boy.
Yeah.
But I think there's 2 reasons I got hit. One, it was a dark colored bike, and 2, it didn't have very loud pipes on it.
No, it was still had factory pipes.
So David, this is Daytona Dave, says he's thinking about getting 60s with Kragers on my Tri-Glide. Any thoughts?
Wouldn't be too bad. Do you see those new ones that we filmed last year in 2022 at
Meekum?
No, at Boss Hoss?
No.
He's got these new little trikes that are kind of like retro, and they've got 60s on the back of them. They might even be 50s.
You know what they made?
They were slick as heck. They look like they were, yeah.
They wanted to, you know, those big wheels with those little trikes when you're a little kid. He said that's what he wanted to imitate for an adult. Big wheel.
Which we didn't have big wheels when we were kids.
No, it was probably after us.
Yeah.
But Rider X says what he's trying to get out of it is he hears that Fat Tire enhances and handles the ride.
I don't know. How do I know it's got a fat tire? You could probably call, who did I say was going to do my handlebars?
All About Customs, Joey.
Call Joey at All About Customs and talk to him about it. See what I think he'd be honest with you.
I'll text you his phone number.
And I think
he would.
Yeah, it's on the other phones in there. I never took it off the charger today.
So yes, they used to have a Harley Davidson dealer in Corona.
Yep.
For a very short time.
Yep. I was there a couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean, it
was a secondary store to the main store. And what happened was the Riverside store ended up, it was Skip Fordyce. Skip Fordyce passed away and they gave it to his son. And his son, all he ever did was he knew about college and he didn't know crap about motorcycles. And he just ran the dealership. So he closed that one down first. And then he ended up selling that one to some other fine people, another group that we don't prefer. Well, if you've ever watched any of our videos when we're there, they like to charge you the $5,000 to $10,000 privilege fee to buy a bike from them.
Yeah.
But Riverside Harley Davidson is the #1 selling motorcycle dealer in the world. Sells more motorcycles than anyone else in the whole freaking world.
They're high pressure. That's why.
And you can file bankruptcy today and go in there tomorrow and buy your bike. You might pay 40% interest, but you'll get a bike.
Until you get home and you have to have a motorcycle.
Until you get home and say, hey, holy crap, I'm paying $800 a month for 20 years. They'll even take a boat and trade. They'll take
anything,
a piece of crap and trade, whatever you got. You're dragging in. They said they'll. Enough about them.
Yes.
We got screwed on her bike, her last
and a
bike.
couple of our friends did too with bikes. Same thing. We all bought about the same time. I think we bought ours first. And
no, actually, Sherry bought hers first.
Oh, did she?
And then she went back and tried to have service. And then we didn't really know about it until after we bought ours. And everybody had the same problem. It's all about selling the bike and get you out the door. And who cares? Which is when you're selling hundreds of thousands of bikes a year, they don't give a crap about the service. They don't give a crap about anything else they do because they're selling so many bikes and they're making major bucks on the bike. We don't need you for anything else. Until you want to come back and buy a bike, then we'll be
Riverside, California.
Yeah.
Right outside of LA in Inland Empire.
Yep. It's on Highway 91. And if you look them up, look and see who owns it, and you'll see that I would stay away from
they're all the same dealership. That's why they can say that. Yeah. He said Huntington Beach Harley's #1. They own that one too.
Yeah. But the Riverside, according to Harley Davidson, which we talked to bigwigs at Harley Davidson, which eventually we're going to have them on our channel, hopefully during the 120th, we're supposed to get with one of them are finally going to come on the channel because I don't normally tell you things that we hear from corporate because I don't want to be that guy that just says, corporate called us today and told us this and this and this. Well, how do you know that's true? Well, I want to bring the corporate guy on our channel to say, here, this is so-and-so. He's COO of Harley Davidson Corporation. And we're going to let you guys ask some questions to them. And so that's what we want to do. We don't want to say, so yes, we've talked to corporate says Riverside Harley Davidson is, as of a month ago when we heard from them, they had sold more motorcycles than anyone else in the United States this year. Oh, they said the world.
If you go in there into Riverside,
they got bikes outside that they leave chained up because they got so many freaking bikes out there. But what they do is they tell you, because they own so many dealerships,
they tell you
we can find anything you want.
Yeah,
well, we have 15, 20, 30,000 bikes in stock. Come do this, because they do. They'll pull them from the other dealerships. They have guys running around all day long picking them up.
If you're in there an hour, you'll hear that bell ring at least 3 times.
Yeah, they probably sold today. Well, they're open on Sunday. They're 7 days a week. They're open. They probably sold, I'll bet you, 10 or 15 bikes today, easily. No problem.
Nope.
We've sat there for an hour, walked in that store just to look at the bikes, and they'll sell 3 or 4 bikes while we're there because they crank the stereo all the way up, ring the bell.
That's what Mitch says. His cousin manages the Huntington Harley Davidson one. He thinks his location is #1, which I disagree.
Well, I think first of all, how long has he been there? Because he probably won't be there too much longer. That's the only thing we found out with this. The people that own this is they go through employees left and right, because you can only screw people so long before you got to have some kind of conscience. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. And we've known some, because we knew the Riverside, we knew Skip Fordyce, we knew those guys for pretty much since we started riding Harleys. And these people took care of us. They took a lot of we have a lot of cop friends that we go in there all the time and have work done.
Six Bends. It used to be Six Bends. I don't know what it's called now. But down in Fort Myers, they also own that one too.
They've got about 40 dealerships that they own throughout the United States. Now, one of them we were just in the other day that we showed, and I actually had a few people say that they had a good relationship with them. Maybe you got lucky there, and thumbs up. But we just know about this family, and we've seen it at several of their dealers throughout the United States. And we're not going to say anything more about them because we don't want Harley to give us a black eye on any of this stuff, which we always tell people. If you want to know about a dealership or you're thinking about buying a bike, like we've had some on here. Sometimes I don't know. Like that's how we met the guy in Vermont. We had somebody ask us, hey, I'm up in the Vermont area and I'm looking for a Harley dealer. Who do I go? I put it on the Facebook page and I got like 20 people came and gave me all these dealerships. Actually, in Vermont, there's only one dealership in all of Vermont, which is an excellent dealership. If I'm in California and I'm going to buy a motorcycle, there's only one place in California I'm going to go. And who is that?
Laidlaw.
That's right. Matt Laidlaw is the #1 dealership. Take care of you everywhere.
Customer service.
Great family business. Art bought a bike from there. And I have never seen
the customer service.
Yes. They bent over backwards for him. And if you go in their showroom, they've got no bikes. Why? Because they sell them as fast as they get them. Because they sell all their bikes at manufacturer's list price. They don't jack them up. They don't raise the prices. Art actually got a year-old model. He bought a 2015 Ultra Limited, the low, and got $4,000 off it. And then turned around and gave him $19,000 traded on his bike. And a year ago, he had paid $20,000. So he only lost $2,000 trading it in. I'm like, holy crap, Art. And what we were there for is that's why I show you how great the place was. We were there because Art's got short legs. He's a short guy. And he has trouble with big bikes. And he always liked a full dress bike. And so he got his street. He started out with a Heritage. And then he went to the Street Glide. And he just didn't feel comfortable to him. He had rode it to Sturgis with us. And he wanted something different. And I said, hey, Art, they got these brand new limited lows now. I said, well, we go up to Laidlaw's and let's go ride.
We're going to have demo rides.
They had a couple other new bikes. And I think the Road King, I think it's the first year the Road King came back out. And I said, I really want to ride that and see what that's like. And he says, okay, let's ride up there and check it out. So we get there and we're sitting there and they got one bike in the showroom, or this maroon one sitting there, limited. And we're sitting there and the grandpa of Laidlaw's walks by and he goes, hey, is there anything you guys need? You want something to drink or anything like that? And we're like, no. I said, my buddy's actually thinking about checking out this new limited, but low, but they told us it's going to be about an hour and a half before we can get on and do a demo ride. He says, okay, I'll take care of that. He walked back and he put a sold sign on it. I said, oh crap, did he just sell the bike? He says, no, it's sold to you guys. Make a decision if you want it or not. I'm like, holy crap. What better way, than try, he had no intentions of buying a bike. Well, he did, but they didn't know that. But which when we came there, he had no intentions of buying a bike. Well, I know Art, he buys what he wants, but he was
Impulse buyer, like somebody else we know.
yeah. So Art, when he put the sold sign on it, Art said it. I didn't say I was going to buy a
I'm not going to
bike.
buy it, you know.
And
I wanted you to see this comment. Did you ever buy a bike from Starbuck Harley Davidson when you guys were in Ottawa, Illinois? I bought a couple from them.
no, I actually never been in that dealership.
No. We've been to Ottawa several times.
We were big Honda people back then.
Yeah.
That's when I bought my first 750 Honda when we lived up there. 81, I think Honda, my 750 I bought. Before that, I had the only other Harley dealer I had ever been to, which no longer is there, is Burbus Valley Harley Davidson. That's in Missouri. That's because they sold Hondas and they had Harleys. That's the only time I had ever seen. I've seen Harleys in the road, but I mean, a lot of my friends rode different bikes. My buddy used to have a Kawasaki he rode. The brothers had for a while had the Honda automatics that they had. Was it the 400s or something? The automatics they had for a year or two there. Had a couple of those. They had a lot more bikes than I had. Did more riding. Yeah. I didn't really get into thinking about Harleys until we moved to Missouri. And actually, one of our daughter's boyfriends got an 883 Harley. Got an 883 Harley, and his parents didn't want it at the house, so they left it at our house. And he said, "Yeah, you can ride it when you want." And so I rode it around the neighborhoods and stuff. I don't think we ever really went very far on it. I'm like, hey, it's kind of neat, nice little bike. And that's kind of where I left it at. And so I had already sold my 750 Honda back in the 80s, probably 85 or 86. I think I sold my Honda 750. And at that time, I had a used car lot. I had a garage. Sold used cars. I had all kinds of stuff. I had Super Bs. I had a Z28s. I had a Porsche that somebody got caught riding on the sidewalk with their daughter in the front seat. And
he wouldn't get out of the way.
And right in front of the high school, I said, bad thing was, that's the only thing I miss now that I used to have, was everybody knew who we were because we owned a business. And same thing when we lived in Missouri, everybody knew who we were. And my phone rang and they're like, "Is your wife, you guys have a yellow Porsche?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "Your wife's driving down the main street on the sidewalk."
It wasn't Main Street. It was on 13.
No, driving down Main Street or whatever. They told me Main Street by the high school on the sidewalk.
It was behind the high school.
And I'm like, okay, thanks. So what I did is I sold that Porsche and I made her drive a 64 Nova 4-door. And this was mint 4-door, the baby hubcap with a straight 6 in it.
With wheels. That wasn't very fun.
But then she got, for a long time, she got to ride big old 4-door Cadillac DeVille.
Yep.
That had like super low miles on it. It was a 77 sedan DeVille.
Gold.
Yep.
So there's a trick to how all these Harley Davidsons say they're the number one. One of them square footage. One of them, like the one Black Hills Harley, they say their number one dealership. Theirs is combined.
It's service. Overall, customer satisfaction, they're number one.
Oh, well,
so they got the best service. They got the highest ratings.
Well, for sales, it's like motor clothing, motorcycles, parts. It's a combined. I think Scottsdale is
the biggest footage.
The square footage, yes. So they all can claim they're the biggest, the best, the number one.
So that's what we did. So that's what we did. I contacted the person we know at corporate and said, "Where's the number one at?" Because they all say this crap. And then that's what they said. "You want to know, what do you want to know?" I said, "I want to know the dealer that sells the most bikes in the world." Or I said in the United States. And they said Riverside Harley Davidson. I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yes, they are our number one dealer."
Oh, he probably wants food.
And sells more bikes than any other dealer can put together. And so I don't know what the total is. I didn't ask that part. So that's what I'm basing it on, what corporate told me. And I would assume they are right. But she is actually right. They go and say, if they find that they're number one in something, hey, they're number one in customer compliments. Oh, we're number one. Well, ask them, what are you number one in?
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of different categories.
Could be number one in the appearance of the store. Could be number one in the service. It could be number one. There's all this stuff. But when they say, oh, we're number one, well, number one in what? That's what you ask. Ask your dealer in Scottsdale, or ask your brother-in-law down there in Huntington Beach. What are you number one in? If he said, well, we're number one in sales of motorcycles, new bikes.
Used bikes?
Yeah. 'Cause
Or
that's different.
is it
Harley Davidson, the
under,
Riverside is new bikes because that's all Harley Davidson cares about is how many new bikes you're selling. They don't count your used bikes.
but they might be counting them as a combination of,
Yes.
because they're in with,
They're all the same dealership,
yes.
same owner.
So we've never bought a bike from Black Hills Harley Davidson. I know they sell a heck of a lot of bikes. I know their customer service is really good. They do not sell for manufactured retail price.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So here's what I do when I go to a dealer. This is how I rate my dealers, okay? What I do is when we go, just like in Vermont, we went to Vermont and over 2 different times while we were there, I stand about 2 or 3 bikes away when they talk to customers. And I just stand there like I'm just looking around and I listen how they talk to the customer. Are they pushy? Are they trying to, it's like Huntington Beach. What happens? You can't even get out of your freaking car before they come running out
They're
at
sitting
you.
outside smoking cigarettes, and you pull up, boy, they
Run after you. They're
do.
hounding you until you get in the door. And if you just say, hey, I'm coming for clothing, okay, they'll leave you alone. Other than that, they are on you like flies on poop. And I don't want that. I want to come in, I want to look around, and if there's something I want to ask about, and one thing I've done, which I can probably show you today, I got my email from Huntington Beach because they got my email somewhere along the line, and every freaking week they want to know if I want to trade my new bike in. My 2014 will give you a hell of a good deal on it. F you. Don't bother me. I don't even open up their emails anymore. I don't need your high pressure sales to sell me a bike. When I want to buy a bike, I will go look at a bike. That's the worst thing about Huntington Beach. And they do it at the other ones. I don't do it at Rivers. But Black Hills Harley's got our email where I bought my bike in Henderson. They've got my email. And once in a while, I'll get an email maybe once a year or something like that. She's sending me a thing about, hey, here's the new models. We got demo day going on. If you want to come on, we'll invite you down. We'll buy you lunch, whatever. Come on down. And I'm okay with that once a year, once every 6 months, but every freaking week. Let me see. I'll show you the last one I just got from Huntington Beach. And I have not been in Huntington. Well, we do go in, but I don't talk to anybody. But I probably gave him my email when she was looking for a fat boy 4 years ago. So let's see.
I thought I wanted another bike, but I don't know. I don't think, as much as I'm going to ride it, it isn't worth the price of getting one. I just don't think I'll ride it enough. So if we get a really super good deal on one or something like that, they want to know about what you think of Ross Myers selling, and you've got 10 minutes before you're on 2 hours.
Holy crap, Ross Myers. Daytona. Here's one of the things that I'm really excited about this part. Who's the president?
The mom, Mrs. Rossmeyer.
If you go on their website, the mom that actually owned the dealership, because Bruce Rossmeyer died, so she automatically owns it because it was in both their names. Actually, it was only in her name because he had a felony. He was a bad boy somewhere along the line. And so it was her name anyway. So she's still president of Ed Morris or Terry Morris. Teddy Morris, Harley Davidson in Daytona. So, and then all the people that were high up, Shelly Rossmeyer, her sister, her brother, all the service manager, all of them are all still there, all on their new website. I am tickled to death that they are still there to run the business. I would have liked the Rossmeyer's name, but
or just keep it Destination Daytona.
Which I would have done that. That's what I would have called it. But whatever. This guy, for some reason, Teddy wants his name on something all of a sudden. I don't know why. It was his grandpa, his dad. I think his grandpa started it. Ed Morris was the original owner. I don't know if the dad was in there somewhere, but his name wasn't Ed. So they've always left everything.
It was the 2 Eds, and then this guy's name's Teddy.
I think
so it was Ed Senior, Ed Junior, and Teddy.
I don't think it was. I think that when I looked it up, I think the dad's a different name. And so Teddy now is the guy that's kind of the CEO of the company now. About a 30-year-old guy, maybe. I don't know his age. And I hope we're going to meet him. And so I'm kind of excited about that because I
told you a lot.
If you go to look up their history of the place, they are a family-owned company. Family is what runs their corporation. And so I'm feeling good about that. They've also got money. Now, the bad thing about Rossmeyer's was they owned a lot of stuff. We know several big companies that wanted to buy the dealership, but they didn't want the freaking hotel. They didn't want the condos. They didn't want
the
all
complex.
the commercial property that goes on. They didn't want to own the Sinner and Saints. They didn't want to own the barbecue place. They didn't want any of that crap. They wanted a dealership. Well, the Ed Morris Group had the money to buy all that. So that's a good thing. So hopefully what will come out of this will be new money coming in, because what happened was I wished I never got a chance to do it. I wish we could have met Bruce Rossmeyer. I bet he was an excellent man, and I would have loved to have met him. And we didn't. We were just a couple years shy of meeting him with his death in Sturgis.
That's what everybody says. He was a great guy.
And so I wished I would. Very business, very professional. But I mean, I get by him telling Daytona to F off. He's my kind of guy. And I think we would have been right. We would have had a great relationship with him. Same thing we have with the Rossmeyers now. And the mom's great too. We talked to her. And so we really like that. And I'm hoping that we get to meet Teddy. Well, I know probably in Sturgis when it comes, we'll get a chance to sit down and talk to him for at least a few minutes. Maybe we'll get a little more time
Sturgis
out
or
of him.
Daytona.
That we'll get a chance to talk to him and meet him. And hopefully he'll accept us too with Shelley's recommendation and stuff like that. And so it'll be pretty neat. So I'm excited about that. Same thing with Black Hills Harley Davidson. They're being bought out. They may have already sold out yet. We need to call and see what's going on. I'm figuring because they said by the end of the year.
Mike would have.
I don't know. But there might be so much going on they don't know. But I'm kind of excited about that too, because same thing. They're going to keep, who's our owner that we know?
Al.
Al told us he's there for 4 more years. He's going to continue to run Black Hills Harley. And Ed's the guy that's been on our channel several times, and a great guy, great owner. Al. We just seen him the other day when we were in Sturgis. He talked to us and stuff and told us not to worry about everything. Everything would work out. And then we got a little more information that actually that day, he told us, I'm going to be here for 4 more years. So I'm like, that's great to have them still there. You know, they still got somebody over them to tell them what to do. But when you look at these dealerships, just like Daytona, and you look at Black Hills Harley, okay, first of all, rallies are involved. I don't know if there's any other companies that could come in and take over one of these dealerships and kick all the management out, because a rally is a nightmare.
It's a lot of work.
And people have no idea how much it is. And we see this when we go to rallies, and the ones that have stuff that's so screwed up because they wait too freaking long to plan it. Just like here, the Buffalo Chips they've been planning since the last day. They were already talking about next year. The city is already doing that. You got to start thinking way ahead to plan this.
To make it work.
And we see it. We see some of these bars that don't come up till a day or two before opening day. They're here, we're here, let's open the door. And it's a mess.
The people that own Laconia also own the one in Orlando, Florida. They own the one in the Poconos in Pennsylvania and Laconia. Was that the only 3 they own? Seemed like there was another one. But that's who owns those dealerships.
Yeah.
We haven't got to meet them.
See, we wanted to meet them, and we have a couple people that's going to hook us up with them. They're actually the husband and the wife that own those 3 dealerships actually worked for corporate Harley Davidson. They actually came up with the husband came up with the financing. He put it together for Harley Davidson. He incorporated that. So to me, to have somebody that was a big corporate guy to come to a dealership, that's what I really wanted to talk to him about. I wanted to see what he knew. I know he knows a lot of stuff, but to have that look, no, you can't see him. To have that look from corporate and to come to a dealer, you know, you'd think it'd be the other way. I'd own a dealership and I would go to corporate, but to backtrack and go down is just kind of unique. And we didn't realize when we went to the Poconos that that's who it was. Same thing. There's good money coming into them. So that's one of the nice things about it.
Here's Charlie.
Was to show the dog.
Come here. Come here. He doesn't. He knows he's not supposed to jump. Look. What's it? Oh, excuse you. He won't stay up very long.
So yes. So in that case, that's what I said. In these 2 cases of Rossmeyer's and also Black Hills Harley, I feel very confident at this moment with it is. Now, once we get down there in Florida, within a day or 2, I will tell you how it's going.
And they said Alligator Alley. That's the one that just closed up, wasn't it?
Yeah. And what's happening is Harley
They
Davidson.
bought that one too. He said they bought that one too. Then the Northeast Ohio one.
Oh,
Oh, is that the one? Is that the one that they kicked all the hog members out? That was Music City, Detroit, Music City.
Yeah.
No, that's Ohio. That's Detroit.
But see, it could be happening. See, like Riverside was like that. We never, after our Harley store closed up, we did not ride with the Riverside group because they were big drinkers. And you know what happens when you drink way too much when you're on a motorcycle? They've been in many accidents with lots of people. And so we never rode with that group ever.
Rock and Roll Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
So is that in Ohio? I guess it is. I don't know why I was thinking.
It's in Music City.
Yeah. We just started dealership.
No. Just like when people say we should have a rally. We started talking about Las Vegas, and we talked to the dealers, and they're like, we'll be behind you, but you got to do all the work. Well, dealing with Las Vegas is a whole different ball of wax. And it's like, no, we can't do that.
It's Metro that's the biggest pain.
Dealing with the police, and they're there for gambling. They don't give a crap about anything else. All they want is your money to come, just like why they had the Raiders and all that stuff there. It's not for football. It's to get all those people to come to the casinos, because most of them end up in a casino sooner or later while they're there and spend money. They don't keep tearing those hotels down because it's an investment. You don't go to a slot machine and think you're going to win. And there's casino owners, you just figure multi-million-dollar buildings, billion-dollar buildings, maybe they're spending on these hotels.
When you walk in and when they like revamp them and stuff, when they remodel them, it's like all the money you see here, all these machines, there's machines everywhere. And those things cost a couple.
Well, now they don't even have the big sponsors anymore. It used to be when we went to Vegas and stuff, you'd see Jurassic Park, and you'd see all these big MGM and Ford and Chrysler, all these people, they had all these slot machines with their names on it. You don't see much of that anymore. Most of them just have like a design or whatever the game's called. What's that one Art likes?
Buffalo. Oh, no, he likes the Three Amigos or something like that.
And it's like, it's nobody. It's
Buffalo
just
one everybody does.
Yeah. So it's that way the dealer,
too much headache.
Yeah.
To own a business. We've been there, done that. My parents owned businesses their whole life. We've owned businesses our whole life. I'm over it. We're retired now. This is enough business for us. We don't really have that much overhead, don't have a whole lot of money in it. We work a lot at it.
We can quit today doing this and it wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah. We don't have any debts to pay off for what we do. The garage I will. But we got credit cards we got to pay off. But other than that, not the end of the world. But if I quit this, I could rent the garage out to people to store their boats, have plenty of room for me to still do work on there. Because what I would do is if I wasn't doing this, I would be buying cars and fixing them up. I'd be buying some Jeeps and restoring them.
I was even thinking about buying RVs that have been in floods or something, and take the best of all the things and make one.
Yeah. And I was going to buy cargo trailers, and I had a whole plan. That's what I was planning on doing. I figured we'd fix them up. I'd have about $12,000.
When I retire, I'm going to do this. And he just kept adding stuff on the bottom of it.
And so we have a lot of different things that we could do we just kind of fell into this. Like I said, we used to do wedding videos, and I really enjoyed editing and putting things together and people watching it. We had no idea, even now with 20,000 subscribers, I would have never dreamed the day we started this that we would even have 1,000 subscribers. Because we just didn't think, who the hell wants to watch us? We're a bunch of freaking losers, We're nobody.
Speak for yourself.
And that's TV talk. And but we just wanted to see how, and people started liking us, and we started going to rally. Well, see, that's one of the things, some of the people that we've talked to that helped us get started, kind of like we did with Amsoil Adam. We passed on the same knowledge that we learned and passed on to Adam to help him build his channel from starting to where he's at today. And he's done pretty good. He's at almost 10,000 subscribers. And for something that he just does, he's got a real job. He's doing his oil changes and his love jugs and all that. And he's kind of doing this in his spare time. So actually not too bad of a gig for him. Yeah. He's got a job that he can rely on.
And if you haven't subscribed to him, you ought to go check him out. Amsoil Adam. Subscribe.
Yeah. Great guy.
Get him to that 10,000.
Yeah. We thought we could try to get a couple weeks ago, but we just got him about 50, but that was about it. But it's neat to have people like that. But that's what we told him, the same thing. Be yourself. There's so many people. We've met so many other YouTubers that I won't go through their names, but they're not at all that you see
like
here.
They see on TV.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing if you watch a TV show. If you watch Yellowstone it's a typical example. I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. Okay, Dirty Harry and all the country music, all the country, all the cowboy movies he's been in, all that. Well, we met his wife. And I'm like, wow, what's it like living with, what's it like living with Clint Eastwood? She shook her head and I'm like, what? She says, you know, when there's a freaking spider in the house, you know who has to kill it? I said, well, does he shoot it? She says, no, I got to go over there and stomp on it because he runs.
He's scared to death of him.
And I'm like, really? She goes, he is nothing like a tough guy on any of the movies. He is not him. Well, see, that's what you think. Clint Eastwood, oh, big tough guy, you know, but they're not.
That's how we learn, right? From everybody else's mistakes.
And so when you see that, so there's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of YouTubers that when you actually meet them, they really don't want to talk to you. They want to blow you off. They don't want to give you the time of day. They're like, oh, we're busy. We're doing this. We're doing this. We always try to have a time of just even a few minutes to say hey or hi or whatever. And
there's been a couple instances where we've been really busy and we felt bad because we knew somebody was.
We were filming, putting my gauges in, and then one of the gentlemen there from Myrtle Beach kept coming back, and we were in the middle of talking, and he was talking, and I kept seeing him, and I'm like,
when we got done, we couldn't find the guy.
Yeah, he'd already left. And he wrote us and said he'd see us next year. And but I mean, I felt bad about that. Yeah. But once again, I've got to put the video out. I got to get this coverage so we can do it when we leave, because I can't redo it because they'll be on the road. So that's what's kind of different. That's kind of why we want to do the studio, because similar to the Monkey Man, it's nice that he's got that garage with his bikes and all that stuff in it. And he pretty much doesn't do a whole lot of editing. So you can see when somebody does editing because we cut that out. Well, his videos pretty much run smooth. He's really good at his conversation. He can really do a good language. I don't know if he practices or if he just picks the camera up and just runs with it. Some people say you should say what you're going to say 10 times before you figure out which way you want to say it, which we're going to start doing that. We do a lot of uhs and so's and things like that, which I know you don't want to hear. We kind of recap ourselves too much. We shouldn't do that. We need to stop that altogether. If we say, hey, here we are at the Buffalo Chip, nowhere else in that video I should have to tell you we're at the Buffalo Chip. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, that's not my fault. You ought to be able to see enough of it to figure out we're there. So things like that we're going to try to do, because we want to get to where people start watching our channel and they get on and they're like, oh, wow, this looks really interesting. What are these people doing? Oh, that's really neat. And, and we keep their interest all the way through. So I just downloaded a whole bunch of neat stuff that we're going to be using to kind of keep up. If you're older, it may be a little too much for you, because there'll be some flashy things that'll come up on the screen, come out and go. But I mean, if you're older and you don't like to see that, there's enough of that. It's all it is to keep your attention. And if you're going to still hear us talk all the way through it, but just things are going to come up on the screen to emphasize what we're speaking about. So, some video, if you watch some of the really good YouTubers, they do that. And that's how they've gotten so good, because they've taken their videos to almost, because what you like is when you turn on somebody's video, what you want to be able to see is you want to hear the story. So it's the same thing I do. I click on somebody's video and I watch the first couple of seconds and I'm like, screw this, I'm moving on to another one. I'm not even going to watch, or I might skim through it. Very few videos do I watch from beginning, motorcycle videos. Really none. Amzo Adam is about the only one that is the most likely person that I watch their video from start to finish. Unless you got a really short one. Powamoto's, which he ain't been on the night. Powamoto's he's got really short videos, and he's got the crotch rockets, and I like to watch a little bit of that. And I try, which I got to get back to doing it because we've been so busy. I try to get over to other channels and watch your channels, put comments down, let them know, hey, we are here still. We are watching your videos once in a while. Sometimes we watch them on the TV, and I have to go back and make a comment later on because you can't comment on your TV. So that's some of the things. See, I said so again. So we want to get rid of that. We don't want to use that word. And
we'll do that. We'll start a video and we'll say, so today, and it's like, today we're at, because we always say so. I don't know what it is.
But you want to get to where you're just like we're having a conversation. You want to be able to have a conversation with people to where that's what keeps your attention going. Just like if you went down the street and said, hey, I want to get something work on my bike. Tell me about what I need to do to have my motor overhauled. What are you going to do? And you're sitting there listening to the guy. Okay. He's telling you what you want to hear. So that's what we want to do with videos, is get to a level that one, it gets people to where they start really watching them. And the Monkey Man's done that. He's changed things around. He's got some excellent thumbnails, and we're probably going to we're not stealing them from what a lot of people say. Somebody watched one of our channel, one video a while back about, we showed opening the door of the trailer, walking out and stuff like that. And somebody goes, you stole that from Adam. I said, no, you didn't. No, we didn't. Actually, I told him that because there's another group of girls. It's called the Van Wives, 2 lesbian girls that make excellent videos, the best videos you could ever watch. Look them up. Van Wives. They make excellent videos, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're really good. I mean, they really keep your attention. I mean, it's really good.
And they spend
They're
days.
interesting.
They put 1 video a week out, and they do excellent work. They probably have some of the best. They want to keep you going the whole time. When you turn their video on, you're going to watch it all the way through.
I only showed 2. I think it was Diana. Was this her? The one Clint Eastwood's wife we met.
Yeah.
It's Dina.
Met her back in 2000 somewhere.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
We were actually on a TV set.
Candid camera.
We were in the audience. What we did is we used to do a lot of filming. We used to go, but we didn't film. I'm a real big. That's what I was going to do when we moved to California. I wanted to be in motion pictures.
They're really good. Watch them. Van Wives.
Yeah. And it's just like we tell you about Wonder Hussy. She's another one. She's not as excellent as these girls are. These girls are
cinematic professionals.
Yes. Their stuff, which they do. They have sponsors now. They give them free van. They give them all this stuff. And we started watching them a couple years ago. They were down in Mexico. They got trapped down there during the virus. And they're actually Canadians. Now they bought them some property and they're fixing it all up. I don't really watch them as much because they were more. I liked it more when they were traveling, showing you different things. I'm not.
Van Wives.
It's all one word.
They're married.
Well, I guess they're married.
I think. Well, if they're called Van Wives, I think they are married. But
Van Wives on YouTube.
The only videos I.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's all one word. It's VANWIVES. And you just got to watch one of their videos and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, watch one of their older ones. I don't know. Because right now they're doing their compound. They bought a bunch of, I don't know, was it 60 acres up in Canada?
Middle of nowhere. No water, no electric, no nothing. But they still do it.
The funny thing is they do almost all of the work themselves. They build stuff. They built their whole van themselves. They put the cabinets in, they put the water in, they put the toilet in, they put the bed in, everything. They did it all themselves, just those 2.
And yeah, it's better to go back about a year or so and see their trip through. When you go back a couple of years, you can watch them build the van and all that. And that's kind of when we started watching them.
That's her. It's Diana Marie Fisher was her maiden name.
And
I don't know if he's still married to
so
her.
that's another one that's excellent. But when you see something like that, just like if I just said that the Monkey Man makes really good thumbnails, he stole that from somebody else. Because there's a lot of people that make thumbnails exactly like he is. Well, because, like I say, nobody's stealing anything from anybody. People take what you look at somebody what they did, a thumbnail, and think, okay, that's pretty neat. Well, you can actually go and I can show you probably 1,000 thumbnails right now that are exactly like the one Monkey Man's using today. Because he's taken their style and using it in his style.
And there's a lot, because he watches a lot to how to improve, how to get better, free software you can use, free music.
That's how I found the Da Vinci. How I found that video. Because I was watching a guy saying, what's the difference between Prime Cut Pro? Difference between Premiere Pro and Da Vinci. I can't even say it now.
No, we're not. It's the same video with the same camera we always use. We had a new light. Maybe it's the new light. Do we look better or worse?
We got a color ring.
Yeah.
It was on sale for $20. So I said,
it's Sam's. I found it.
Keep talking.
More power to them. It sounds great. I mean, they don't.
What the Van Wives?
Yes.
They keep your attention.
Yes, they do. And it's not about them being wives. It's all about their adventures, kind of like what we do. It's all about what they do, what they're building, where they're going, what they need to do. So it's not about them being lesbian. So
hey, if they go there, tell them to leave comments and we send them.
Yeah. So that's what he said. If you go watch it, tell them Bob and Tim's Excellent Venture told you to go there because they've got a lot of viewers too. Sorry, it's Monkey Man. Yes, that's what he calls the professional Monkey Man. Are you guys good at what you do? Love listening to you all. I think we just BS a little bit more than anybody else. I think Clint lives near Pueblo. I think so. He was mayor of, was it Monterey? I think he was. Yeah.
There in California.
Yeah.
We never made it up there in time before he retired.
Yeah. A few minutes of freeze frame. Okay. It's about time to get up anyway. We've been on over 2 hours.
Holy Jennifer Jupiter,
Picture
Batman.
looks fine here. All right.
So what happened was I had to put this banner. This is my banner I bought from Sturgis last year.
No,
my
this year.
flag. Yeah, this year.
2022.
It's an old rally. We're waiting for the new round. And when I put the light up, the round light, you can see it in the TV. So I'm like, that ain't gonna work. But it's just like the Monkey Man. I call him. I don't know why.
He tells me 5 minutes. I asked him out there, we're gonna do a live night. We're gonna do a live night.
Maybe,
I don't know. I don't know. So we get home and I wash the sheets. I was putting the sheets on the bed and everything. I come in here to get my water and I'm like, are we doing a video? It's like 5 to 5. He's like, yeah.
You seen it all set up.
I was in there working. I was not in here.
But she was.
He saw, yeah. So I had like 3 minutes to brush my hair, put on some makeup, and get in here. There you go. How about that? Oh, what does it say? Sorry, I didn't listen to you, Joseph. I rarely watch TV anymore. Mostly YouTube, bikes, overland, jeeps, full time. RVers, music. I have to check out the Hot Lesbian Band. It sounds interesting.
One's really good.
One's cute. One's.
The other one's, I don't know why the other one's with the other one, but maybe it's personality.
Yeah.
The one's really cute.
If you have a freezing thing, maybe it's your YouTube issue. Reload, it usually fixes it. Yep. Yeah, because it seems like it's okay.
Because we have a pretty good web. Our internet here is really pretty good. We're usually, I don't know. Let me look and see what my internet is right now. Usually it's pretty good. Not as good as my son-in-law. My son-in-law the other day when I uploaded a video probably took like 2 minutes, and it was like he had 500 going up. And I'm like, holy crap! But then when I was there the other day,
he's got it hardwired. He's got
a T1.
What's it called?
T1.
No, not Verizon. Fiber optics.
Well,
hardwired into his house. But that's what he does for a living. So, yeah.
So right now we've got about 100, 200 coming down. Let's see what going up is. It's going to take a minute for it to. I always check everything. When people always say, well, how do you know that? Well, look at your phone. You download a speed check, and we check it all the time. Now going up sucks. Yeah, we could be having trouble. It's not even 5.
So he was the mayor of Carmel because the city council denied the building permit or something. So he fired them all. There you go. That's what they say. If you want something done, you got to do it yourself. They told me I look good. They say, oh, you look good too. You look handsome. Saddle Tramp has down to earth.
Moonshine shirt on.
Down to earth videos. Harley Frank says that. What is the name of it?
My moonshine?
Saddle Trap. Saddle Tramp.
Saddle Tramp Scotty?
That's not Scooter Tramp Scotty. Yes, I stream watch DVDs, certain recommendation from folks, but 90% of my content's we do that too. We'll watch maybe 30 minutes of like Me TV or something before we go to bed. Eric Carmel, yep. Monkey Man looks okay, down to earth. Yeah. He's a nice guy. We've talked to him several times.
Actually, the Sturgis, the last time he came talk, he must have sat with us for close to an hour.
I know.
And just yacked and talking, which was fine.
We were there to see some subscribers. And so we were there to be with him. And then when he came over and he kind of dominated the
what he did is he was doing a live on his phone. And he goes, oh, look, it's Bob and Tam. They're over here. And came over and he sat down and started talking. We was talking more to us than to, but we were there with subscriber, which was fine. I didn't have any trouble with it.
Fender Kitten and, Sean and Rick is what their names are.
And so.
They're not on tonight.
Yeah, maybe they're busy. Maybe they're out and about.
They didn't get notified because it was unscheduled.
Yeah. But it should come up in your thing and say, hey, look, they're live. Come check them out.
All right.
So we might start doing Sundays again. Looked like we had a pretty good crowd here tonight. Yep. So we'll probably go back.
In the 60s almost the whole time.
We're probably going to come back and do lives on Sundays. Screw football. Other than the Super Bowl. Maybe the Super Bowl.
He does. See, that's what he's got a good gig going because he does have a full-time job. I think his wife works full-time. Then he does the YouTube. So yeah, he's.
Oh yeah. If I had my other job that I worked 40 hours a week at, yes, we could be buying bikes and fixing them all up and dumping money and stuff and doing all that. And I could do a lot more if we had more cash. But we have what we have, so we have to do what we do. And we're retired and we don't have, other than I have retirement money coming in and she has some money coming in. So we do have some money coming in that we can survive. We're not living on YouTube. We could not live on this. We're not making enough money to pay our bills. So right now, it's the first time I pulled money really out of my account. I took half the money out to pay for the landscaping we had done, the grading the guy did. So now I got half the money I had before. So this month's not going to be real good, and next month right now it's not looking good at all either. So, which is okay. We're
fine. We'll survive.
Yeah, we'll be around a while. We're definitely going to we got next year already set down. We're definitely going to come out and do videos next year. We're going to see about how this garage works out. And we may not do as, like here, I don't know if we'll do Florida again after next year. We may not do Florida and Myrtle Beach anymore. We may go out and start doing weird things, go back and do some of these rallies, maybe go to Ocean City one year and say, hey, let's go to Ocean City. Let's see what it's like. And maybe put the bike in the back of the truck and just drive over and get a hotel room. And so, a lot of things can change, and we'll see how it all goes. We thought Sturgis would be a lot better videos, but my Sturgis just isn't getting much views. We did one on hotels.
There's so many YouTubers out there now.
YouTube's just not recommending us. And what I need to do is go back, which I've done on a few videos, go back in and redo the thumbnail, change the title, and post it again. And we did that for all the fall rallies. We didn't do any of those rallies, and we never said we were there. A couple of people came back and said, you're not, one guy did. One guy, you're not here. What part of Revisited did you not get? And the girl that said, welcome to Bob and Tam's, the 2021 at Panama City. That was a good giveaway. I never said it was. I re-edited them and put them back out. And just to show, hey, it's people want to see stuff that's cool. And the other video, Prime Cut Pro does that. They're putting videos out of Sturgis from last year still, and Panama City and Laconia. A lot of things. And it's if people want to watch it, a lot of times, like in this type of atmosphere, here we are, you're sitting home. If you're in the winter or someplace, you can't ride your bike. So let's go back and think about Sturgis.
There's no rallies going on that we can go to and show you.
Hey, I'm going to Daytona. Oh, let's go watch some videos on Daytona so I can get all geared up. I've done that when we travel. Well, I used to read books before. When we used to travel to California, when we first went to California, I go through all these tour books and find great places to see and do. And I get all worked up about, oh, look at this. We're going to go check this out. And we're going to go see this.
La Bear tar pits and all kinds of stuff.
I did the museums and all. And just seen a whole lot. I just had a lot of fun. Just going out and seeing a lot of different things that you normally don't get to see. And so same thing with doing the motorcycle rallies. But I thought people would be wanting, which I got a bunch of camping ones I got to put up. And I don't know how I'm going to do all those yet. That we want to post. We want to make a playlist of just campgrounds. So you guys can click on it if you're looking for a campground and say, hey, I want to check out Chris's campground, or I want to see what's at the Buffalo Chip, or I want to see what's at Pappy Hoyle's. And so a lot of them we went through this year. At the end of the year, we drove through a lot of them to film what it looked like. We went to Socorro, what is it?
Socorro Station.
Yeah, went there and filmed that. Just drove around. We didn't go in the cabins or nothing like that. Didn't stop and talk to nobody. Went to the little campground that was across the street. So we'll have some videos to show you what to expect when you get there, because you can look at people's websites. It's like when we went to Kathmandu. It was not at all what we were thinking when we got to Kathmandu. And so you think that, you see these cottages and, it's a freaking shed. It's not a cottage, it's a shed. And they're all like that. I don't know, there's probably some out here that were actually built to sleep in. Most of them were a shed.
And when we got there, I took a picture and I sent it to the girls. I said, look, here's our cabin. One daughter wrote back, says, Mom, that's not a cabin. That's a shed you're sleeping in. Which it was, but
they had a regular door on it.
They called it a cabin.
And a window in it. And
air conditioner, no heater. It was cold that year.
So, yeah.
All right.
Are your questions? Anybody got any more questions?
22.
Any more questions, or we're going to wrap it up?
22. Remember that show?
Room 222?
That was with Karen Valentine. Yeah. Is that her name? She was
and that
cute.
black guy and that white guy. I don't know what their two names were.
I just remember her. Room 222. All right.
Somebody wrote you another question.
Yeah, 2 of them. Have a good night. Harley says, so Dee, we said hi to Bob. That's great. And later, guys. All righty.
So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate that. That's the only way we get anything out of all of our videos. One, we like to see people come on. I hate to do the lives. I hate to do these lives, and we get 100 or 200 people show up on these lives, and it's like, holy crap. It's just really sad. And I know there's a lot of you that don't have time to watch it. You might watch it later, just like the video we did Friday. It's like 17 or 1800 views, and it's like, wow, I didn't even know it was that big. And then when I looked yesterday, or just a while ago, I had to go to live to monetize this one. And I was like, wow, oh my God. Yeah. So we do appreciate all you guys hanging out and letting it run and helping us out, and that's it.
Thanks. Yes, it's been nice spending time with you guys too. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends or loved ones or whatever you guys did for Thanksgiving. We had a good time. We made it home safe. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share it with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And we probably will do a couple lives this week around the same starting time this one started on the new garage.
There's Art. Bye. He just came in at the last minute.
I thought he was on earlier.
I don't know. I don't think I saw him. Later, Stanley says, "Pating, say your pating."
There you go, Pating Nation. We thank all of you.
Yep.
And you guys can post things on our Facebook pages and stuff, as long as it's got motorcycle related. Poor Steven puts stuff on our Pating page. He's about the only one who puts anything on our Pating page. He's always putting something up there. And it's great. You know, it's fine. As long as it's not anything that's, I'm not into political stuff and we're not into anything, you know.
Selling junk.
Yeah.
I put the one on there about the motorcycles.
Yeah. And
so, cartoon.
So I don't mind any of
the little
that.
Love Is cartoons. I used to love those.
So, you know, I'm okay with that. On the Sturgis one, we want to really kick the one here running across the bottom here.
Page.
It's got to be really Sturgis related. We've had a few people, like somebody's about a trip he went to Iowa or something, or Idaho, or I don't know, Utah. But I guess he wanted to talk about is products he buys. I said, well, you know, if you want to do a video on products, I'm okay with that. If you want to show like what kind of tents you have and what kind of gear you use, I'm okay with that. But I don't really want rides on Utah because this is a Sturgis page. Not saying that you might not ride through Utah, but it's like I do. If I'm going to Sturgis, I don't have time to go through Zion Park and all that kind of stuff. That's another trip.
Bye, Liver.
So on the Sturgis page, keep it to Sturgis information. But I mean, we were showing people, show us your bikes and stuff like that, and that's fine.
Or where you like to stay, or how long it takes you to get to Sturgis, things like that. But Sturgis related. Yeah. But Pating Nation.
And our regular Facebook page, same thing. You can put any kind of comments in there, and then some of them do. Some of them will put stuff on that's going on in Sturgis. They put a bunch of them posted a bunch of stuff about Rod announcing the bands and stuff before I even went live with it, which is fine. And so a lot of the people already do that, but more of you can do that too. Or the one, if there's anything on there, if I delete something, it's not anything personal. Sometimes I'll write you and tell you why I deleted it. Sometimes I don't. You can always write me. Sometimes YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook will take stuff off. Because I've had that happen. People will write me a nasty letter on the big channel here and say, why did you delete my stuff? I didn't delete nothing. And I do have some keywords you can't use, but it's more about .coms and stuff like that. We don't want people putting porno stuff on and stuff like that. It's kind of like our chat over here. We try to put enough keywords to keep the bad guys out. Sometimes they still sneak in, but I re-put new bad words.
Only convicted as usual. He says he's in Facebook jail right now. He's doing a 30-day sentence. Yeah. We have a lot of friends that
end up in jail.
Facebook jail is, I guess, better than regular jail.
Yeah. So. All righty, ended up.
All righty, thanks a lot, guys.
And you'll be seeing some more of the shop being built this week. So if we get most of the framing up tomorrow, we'll go live tomorrow afternoon. If we don't, then we won't have. And we'll get that video edited from Patreon. That's on Patreon now. If you're a Patreon person, you can check that out. You can see already what happened to my bike and what's finally fixed it. But I want to, that's my first edit. And I'm going to re-edit it again because I want to put some pictures and a little bit more explanation and show you exactly what parts they were. We show you on there, but we don't show you where they were at on the bike.
All right.
There you go. Bye.
Bye. Start your waving because I'm going to end it. Bye.